attention. My favorite girl. Excuse me for the moment. I'm in another world. On a mountain, by a fountain, flowers blooming everywhere. With Venus and with Cupid, the picture's very clear. Hang the sun upon the door. I see just a way to say that I'm so into you. And feeling so real. Don't disturb this groove. Erotic whispers for the listener. Let the music fill the air. Excuse me for the moment. I'm at a loss for words. Violation, sheer perfection. If these eyes would care, your heart is in the right place. So don't you go and chase, baby, over and over. The passion starts again. In the light, everything. Let your taste of sin, causing fire and desire in this mortal soul to live. Till the angels fall from heaven. Day the earth stands still. Hang the light on the door. It says, don't disturb this groove. Just a way to say that I'm so into you. And feeling so good. Don't disturb this groove. Cause I want to tell you that I'm so into you. And feeling so real. Disturb this groove. When it feels so real, don't disturb this groove. It's time for me and you. Are you ready? Hang the sign upon the door. Say, don't disturb this. Just a way to tell you that I'm so into you. And the feeling's so real. Don't disturb this. I want to tell you that I'm so and the feeling's so real. Don't disturb this. 'Cause I need you, baby. I need you, baby. Just so that I understand. I need you, don't you? Don't disturb this. I need you, baby. When the feeling's so real, don't disturb this. 'Cause we're grooving, baby. We're grooving, baby. And I love it, baby. With you, baby. I love it, baby. Love it, baby. Love it, baby. Don't disturb this. hear. Just say I love you softly in your ear. Oh, baby, don't keep running. My heart is yearning for your love. My heart is yearning for your love. Can't keep running, getting it out of my life. I need to make you as my lover and my wife. Oh, baby, be my love. So many times I need to have you by my side. To be my friend, my lover and my guide. Oh, baby, keep running. My heart is yearning for your love. My heart is yearning for your love. My heart is a yearning for you. Let me inside. My heart is a yearning for you. Keep running. Running in and out of my life. Keep running. Running in and out of my life. Keep running. In and out of my life. Keep running. In and out of my life. Keep running in and out of my life. Keep running out of my life. You can't keep running in and out of my life. Keep running in and out. You can't keep running out of my life. Out of my life.
Oh, yes. Greetings, everybody. I'm sorry about my skippy music, but I always got to get into my old school mode, and plus I know Baba Valentine does not like trash music, so we have to bring him in with the Gap Band or
Right,
some type
right.
of, music with
Real
substance,
music.
music with Oh yeah. Barbara Valentine. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. How you doing? Thank you for being
Yes.
here.
It's an honor.
You
It's an
always
honor.
you,
Thank you.
you always come to um help us out on our platforms, whether we got big platforms or little platforms. You always come through for us. you know, and I appreciate that. You know, you never say no unless you don't have time to do it. But yeah, I just want to give you that gratitude because you always came through. Even when I did my blog talk radio, you was there helping me strengthen up my numbers and everything. I'm sorry that the music was skipping like that. Sometimes StreamYard is a mess.
Yeah, I know. I'm I knew the song, so it didn't skip in my head.
That's right. Now that was
Matter of
when
fact,
music was music.
yeah, I met one of the Gap
Wait,
Band. Okay, when I was
oh
in
yeah?
music. Yeah, it was at
Oh, okay.
where it was. I think we were in Carolina.
Oh wow.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So we have Kufu Haru here. He's another big time fan of
Greetings.
yours. We got David from Texas, well, actually from Detroit, so he's familiar with all that Motown music too, you know.
Peace.
And
Yes.
we'll probably have some more people coming on later to hear you. So yeah, how's everything? How was your evening?
Kind of a bit busy. You know, my wife is presently came down with something, an attack of something that we had not thought that would actually be felt with. She's in the hospital right now. So
Oh,
Oh no.
I've been taking on two separate jobs, but she's in very good spirits. In fact, she's the belle of the hospital ward right now. Everybody loves coming into her room. Even the doctors like coming into her room because you know we jazzed it up. We put the super conscious mojo on the room. So
right.
everybody, a lot of the nurses come in and say, can I sit in here for a little while with you?
Oh, just her whole aura, the whole vibe.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. But she's writing her book about her experience. Not to say anything, but she actually transitioned and came back, and
Oh,
I had to bring her back, and so we found out that her family has this particular gene that was delayed in her because of her lifestyle, and it just forced its way to the surface, and
uh,
it actually took her mother and her brother, but because of her lifestyle and because of how fastidious she was with her health, the doctor said that she survived because of that. And so she's writing a book called "My Lifestyle Saved My Life" right now.
Wow.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
See, people
I
gotta
like that.
understand that. Yes.
yeah.
Let
So,
us know when it's out so we can purchase it and maybe she could
Yes.
come, maybe you and her could come on and talk about it or something, you know. I know she
yes,
doesn't like to do long live streams. She's like a 30-minute and she's out of here. So she'll
yeah.
just do her first 30 and you do the last 30.
She has, she does a lot of work on her own. So she has, other than her work as a naturopath, you know, we do mentoring and counseling, and we do a lot of,
Exactly.
a lot of things that a lot of people don't know about, and
Hmm.
Mm,
off grid. So
Right.
right.
I've had to double up on my try to take some of her work, but I'm up for the task. I went to
So,
go.
how far is the book along? If you don't mind me asking, how far is she along with the book?
Well, it plays based upon the next stage of her healing. So
Okay.
right now she's they supposedly gotten rid of the thing in her bone in the cancer. This thing is leukemia. I think it had a leukemia situation, and it
Okay.
just hit her, all at once. She when the doctor said it just came down, despite what she has been doing, but they said that 4 or 5 years earlier she could have passed if she did not live the lifestyle that she did. So,
Wow.
she went beyond the time
Oh
that she
wow.
should have. So, we're working with it, but I don't want this to be a Debbie Downer because she's very, very amped. She's hyped. She's she's a wonder. That's why I'm lucky to be with her.
That's a beautiful thing. So I was
Yeah.
looking at
I think.
I have a question. Go ahead. You go first. I was going to ask him about
Oh
the
no,
video. Uh-huh.
I was just saying we're going to send out our personal energy healing and prayer. Everybody pick a time of day when you
Yes,
first wake up,
definitely.
or that way,
Hmm.
she can come home and finish the book and everything. I feel like it's going to be all right.
Right.
She got the good
Indeed.
energy anyway. You know.
Yes, yes. But let's move on. We like to talk about some good things. On the 17th, I have a webinar coming up, a repeat of my webinar that I did on the 5th of June. I'm going to be
Okay.
repeating that webinar on the 17th of this month. So if
Okay.
anybody is interested in that, they can call me at 800-847-1291, 800-847-1291, or they can
Let me get my
send they can send uh, a request for the registration link to my private email,
Let's
which
see.
that is sanu777 at gmail. That's SUNNU 777 at Gmail. S Science UNNU 777 at gmail.com. And just put in the search box or in the subject box, put in all capital letters webinar, and that way I don't have to go fishing for it, because I get so many emails. I just want to come
Okay.
back to you with it. Hmm.
Okay. Could you spell that one more time for me so I can get it?
I'm gonna put
That's
it. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay. All right. I'll get it. I'll get it from there. I'll get it from the chat.
okay.
Thanks. So I ask my question now? I saw you earlier. I saw you about a week ago on the I think it was Brother Rich, and you was talking about the BET Awards, and you had some very interesting points that kind of brought a lot of things to my attention as far as how toxic the music industry has come when it pertains to hip hop music. Like I don't even really consider that hip hop music anymore. You know what I mean? Because when from back when I was growing up, from like in the like Public Enemy and like the Tribe Called Quest and the
Houdini.
leaders of the new school. Yeah, that is what, to me, that's what hip hop was. I don't know what this new stuff is that they,
For
um,
real.
They call
it
it.
doesn't have any type of positive message to it, and it just seems like, to me, it seems like it's been hijacked by some other uh, entity, some other, I don't know really what to label it, but it seems like there's a message in the rap music that's been concentrated. It's like a negative, like toxic type of message that it just seems like they're all um talking about. Like it has this, there's really no positivity in it. It's just death, destruction, filthiness. It's just become nothing positive, and it seems like it's working against us instead of working for us. Like they got rid of all the public enemies and all the like um, uplifting, liberating type messages, and now it's just like murder, drug dealing, you know, like things that you don't, really want, you wouldn't want your kids to listen to. You couldn't even play that type of stuff at a family gathering type thing. So, um,
Right. They call it trip hop. A lot of my young people.
oh, trip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely trippy, and
Yeah.
I think, like, I wanted you to finish, like, I wanted to, kind of hear what you had to say about, because you said we need to do something about it, and I agree with that. But it's like, what can we do? Like, what type of options do you think, or solutions do you think, um, would be good to approach?
Uh, the solutions are to pull your children away um, from schools and areas and arenas that promote that. It's very difficult
Right.
right now because it saturates everything. I mean, you give your child um, a computer, you give your child a phone, and now with these different platforms where they can have 30-second vignettes and show all of the riches that they give to these so-called rappers, and that becomes a lure.
Indeed.
And since the parents are not parenting anymore, and the parents come from that, the parents are coming younger and younger, and they're not really from the old school. They're not teaching children music in school anymore.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
our children don't have a level of sophistication that comes with people who know what that music, what how to bring out that type of music. There is a group of a family called the Kenner Masons, 7 children, melanated children, children of indigenous and autochthonous descent, and they are absolute geniuses on all of the instruments. And their parents essentially are about teaching and making sure that the legacy and their culture goes forward. So if you have any time, look up the Kenna, Kenneh dash Mason or Mason, Kenna Mason. You will find them to be
Is that
incredible. And
she cool? Is that she cool, Kenna Mason?
yeah, Sheku,
Marcellus?
yeah, Sheku, that's one of them. And then there
Okay.
is the 3 girls, the 3 sisters are phenomenal on the piano. And they play the violin just as much as virtuoso as they are on the piano.
Oh,
And
you're
I'm
gonna
talking,
make me
oh,
start back from taking my violin lessons. Keep
oh yeah,
talking, Dr. Phil. Let me show you my violin. I
oh
knew he
yeah.
was going to talk about this violin because I can't get away from it. I need to be playing it. That's why.
Well,
Keep going. I'm sorry.
you should hear Dr. Nalani's daughter. Look up Maz Muse. She's a monster.
Okay. So they're not. Oh, they're more like, just total all around musicians,
Yeah,
Yeah,
sell it.
drums.
One
I'm
plays
talking
the
about
cello. One plays the
classical.
piano.
I'm talking about they slapping classical. They do a thing on Beethoven. If I could find one for you right now. If I could go up online and pull down one of their songs and show you what I'm talking about, you see what I'm talking about. All 7 of them, from the oldest one going down to the youngest one, who I mean, at the time she was the youngest. She was
Ah.
about
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that family. You know, I'm trying to figure out where have I been to not
You
have
might
heard
have
of them.
you might have heard of them in California. It's my
yeah.
I
violin.
haven't.
No,
I ha-
they're
Oh,
actually
you said you haven't. Okay, I thought you said you might have heard of them. Yeah.
no, I said I
Okay.
haven't. No, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, where was I at to not have heard of them? You know what I mean?
hold on.
Um,
Right.
uh,
She needs tuning up though.
but yeah, so
I want you to check them out here. If you got a second, can you see this?
You got to share the screen.
I got to share the screen.
Yeah.
All right, sharing the screen. I
Turn the
will.
camera up.
Hang on a second. I got to share my screen.
Yeah. You should see at the bottom, it's going to say mute, start camera, settings, share, and then you'll see an invite. It's the fourth one from your right. My left, your right. At the bottom.
Okay, I'm okay. Did I do it right or wrong?
No, we don't see it yet.
Okay, you said where is it? I would find it.
At the bottom of the screen.
Where it says share there.
And then you click on share. And then it's going to, at the last one where it says share screen, you click on that and then you go to what you want to share. You go to the the tab that you pulled it up. After you click share, there's a tab.
Can you see that?
No, we don't see it.
Not yet.
Okay, hold on. Share system audio. Share. Okay, do you see me?
Yes, we see you.
Yeah, we see you.
But you don't see what I'm talking about. It says
no.
It says share here. Maybe I'm not supposed to. All right, now.
Yeah, you can.
That's interesting.
Oh, I see it. I see it now. I see it. I have to add it to the stream. I see it now.
Oh, you
yeah, I'm getting ready to add it to the stream right now. It's coming.
Okay, you see them?
I see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see them now.
Now check these kids. These are children.
Wow. Wow, I'm blown away.
I remember them some years ago.
Now, you check that out.
Wow.
These
Wow.
are kids. These are kids.
I remember them. They're from England, right?
Yes, they're from England. Now check the sister.
They're from England,
remember
Baba.
The little girls, right? Remember those the little three girls? The three girls are better on the piano than they are on the violin. Listen to the one on the left.
Stick on that piano.
Wow.
That ain't nothing compared to what it is these girls. Just look at all of what they do when they're older. This is Beethoven, black man.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm telling you now. Who would you want your daughter to emulate? Cardi B or this girl?
Okay. All right. And you know what? I'm about to put my violin right back in the case because I ain't got nothing on them. I'll be getting on my violin lessons because Dr. Phil just opened up the door. But you
Well,
see, I have it. I just ain't doing it. I'm putting it back because they just showed me how it's supposed to be done. All
well, this
right.
is what I was
They
saying.
made you put it up. They made you sit yours down.
They make everybody sit theirs down. I'm telling you. See, you haven't really seen anything yet because these are when they were younger. You got to see what they're doing now individually because they all have individual concerts. This young man that
Right.
you saw, what's his name?
But I sit in here for you to see it. Look.
Right. He won England's youth musician, upcoming youth musician at the age of 16. This dude did one of the most complicated pieces in
On the
music
cello.
on the cello,
On the
on the cello. And so, like, what I'm saying is, when I'm dealing with music, when I was coming up with music, I was exposed to some of the baddest musicians on the planet who played like that, but played, pop music.
R
And
and
this is,
B. Right. Right.
we don't have our young girls, our young boys, especially our young girls today, don't have the kind of role model like the Kenner Masons because they don't
Right.
teach the kind of music. They took it out of the schools, and
Mm-hmm.
once they stifle the genius. When you stifle genius, it goes awry. It instead of it flowering, it begins to weed. If you understand what I mean. And
That's
it goes
right.
off into different perverted forms of expression. So when you have genius sitting in all of these quote unquote ghettos waiting for expression, the instrument becomes a spirit catcher. When you teach a child that you can eke out sounds, beautiful sounds from something that's inanimate, that becomes a segue to their spirit. When that was shut down, the next thing that our children did was to turn to the turntable and change that into a musical instrument with the
Right.
scratches and the different ways that they took our old music and pumped it and clicked it together. They were spicing together the wounds of our culture to make the music that they did, which came hip hop, since they couldn't use instruments or weren't taught instruments that became the mouth. That's where you started seeing the beatbox and the ways to compensate for what
Right.
wasn't there.
Exactly. Dougie Fresh.
Yeah, I know that very well. So when the time comes, we always improvise. We know what to do outside of that, and they know that. So they want to stifle every arena of expression that we have. Who knows that that so-called jazz was actually black classical music, American classical music.
Yeah.
They had the European classical music, which you see that our children can conquer in a minute.
Right.
Right.
But we have American classical music, which is what they call jazz. I call it American classical music. And they don't know about Bird. They don't know Monk. They don't know, you know,
Right. Like Delta Blues,
yeah, they don't know Miles, They don't know, what's his name, Bird.
Donald
These,
Byrd.
no, not that Donald Bird. I'm talking about, oh, wow. When you said Donald, it just flew out of my head. I'm talking about,
You just knocked the thought right out of there, huh?
no,
Because I
no, not,
heard the only Bird I know is Donald Byrd.
no,
But
Bird was a saxophone player
oh,
um,
okay,
that played with Miles. In fact,
okay.
Miles actually was um, Miles was Bird's protege. Miles went to school
Mhm.
at Juilliard, but he said his real school was with Bird in Birdland. Oh man, why can't I get the brother's name? That's terrible. He just knocked it out of my head. It'll come back to me somewhere down the line as we're talking. Go ahead. Charlie
Okay.
Parker. Charlie Parker. Charlie
Okay.
Parker. That his nickname was Bird because he used to play at a jazz club called Birdland.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I just learned something new. I didn't know that Miles Davis was a protege of someone that came before him.
Yeah,
That was definitely something I didn't know, and now I'm gonna look in. I'm gonna look. I want to hear his music. I want to hear
Charlie Parker.
Bird. Yeah, I
Yes.
want to hear. I want to hear his music. He played the
Oh,
same instrument as Miles Davis.
oh no, no, he played the sax, tenor
Okay.
sax, alto sax, but his runs and his riffs are like what you heard her playing on the piano on the
Hmm.
sax.
What? Did you see how she
And
got it? She was like,
yeah,
Hey,
and
oh,
that was like
yeah, but just
that's the
imagine,
spirit you was talking about, Dr. Phil. That once you connect with the instrument, you become one with it. But first, it has to break you in. Like I'm being broken in now with the violin. But once I get broken in, it's gonna be easy to stroke
yeah,
the bow. You know what I'm
once
saying? It's
you
gonna be real easy to do it. But
yeah,
right now, I'm struggling with it.
you have to be free of it.
Yeah.
You have to be free of it. It has you enslaved right now.
Yeah, how you know exactly? My heart be racing, and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
let me just put it down. I don't sound right. I don't give myself a chance to, embrace it like I need to. But I
It's like,
am now because you're like the fourth person that brought up the violin this week. Kufu brought it up like 3 days ago. We were speaking.
look up um look up Dr. Nalani's daughter.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you all another lesson real quick, if you don't
Uh,
mind.
I
no
don't
problem.
mind.
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying this. And like you said, yes, I would want my daughter and my granddaughters to be with them playing pianos and violin, not Nicki Minaj, not Cardi B.
Right, exactly.
My
Um,
goodness. Okay,
uh,
let's see.
hang
Look,
on.
look, David, they made me just put the violin right on back in the sack.
I mean, that was just like,
I
Right
know.
on back in the sack.
I
I know.
mean, it was like, um, that was so on point and so perfect. You know, the way that she played that piano, it almost seemed like, you know,
Better than
I've
Mozart.
never saw anyone play a piano the way she did.
Yeah,
I haven't.
yeah,
Not like that. So that was like a master. She was already a master at that age. You know what I mean? She's already mastered it. It's already mastered. You know, that was like,
she is just incredible, and
Exactly.
you know, there's a
Oh, I
there's
probably
a
had it on.
I want you to hear Dr. Nalani's daughter and who she is when she's playing in hang on a second.
Okay.
Maz and at hmm.
Well, I'm feeling encouraged now. I think it's
Yeah,
time for
you
me to
know,
wake it back up.
if you could
Time
do
for me to
a
wake it back up.
yeah, when you do a Maz Muse in at the there's a place in where's hold on, Maz in Battle of the Violin, Battle of the Violins, Battle of the Violins. I forgot Maz Muse and Battle of the Violins. Uh, it's what I wanted to. She played with Bruce Springsteen. She's played with she's played
Mm.
with the rock. Oh wait a minute, hold up. Where is that? No,
Yeah, I gotta see that one.
no, you don't want to see this one. What you want to see is her with at the bar. Wait a minute, Maz Muse at the bar. Okay, Maz. I know it's. I know. Hopefully, I'm not taking up too much of your time, but I really want you to hear her.
No, not at all. We enjoy having you. Trust me.
yeah,
We wish you could
I'm
come by
listening
in Florida.
intently. Like I,
Hang on a second.
Exactly. Trust me. We've been waiting for this day. It took too long to get to the fifth.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, and it's like real music. It's like that's what I was. I've been wanting to hear something new. Like now I got some research to do. I got some. You giving me some homework. You gave me some things I can look into, and
I want to give the sisters some homework too. I want you to listen to Maz for a second.
Okay.
Honey, what is the name
Okay.
of
We'll
the
wait for it to load up.
where Maz played at when she had the Battle of the Violins?
Greetings, Dr. Nalani.
Thank you. What? What is it?
And he talk about the violin kufu. You know, that's my style right there. I was just telling you that the other night. Remember?
yeah, you were. Yeah, yeah.
And I
You
had a
spoke
feeling,
it.
Dr. Baba Phil, I had a
P-A-S?
And
feeling you was going to
look,
bring
you
up
spoke this
the
conversation into
violin.
existence.
What is it?
Mm,
C-I-R.
mm, mm.
Basketball. Budapest. It's all
Every
right.
night I look at this violin while I'm going to sleep because it's facing where I be facing when I go to sleep. And
Okay.
it's like, that's a shame
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing nothing with this violin.
Uh,
So that's going
Yeah,
to end today. That's going to end today. If I
bar, right?
go online and take violin lessons, that's going to end today.
yeah. Don't waste any more time.
Yeah, I'm about.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
That
Because
was
this
that
is the
was your
fourth
instinct.
time this violin ran across me from
Okay.
the ending of June to now.
Yeah, I think I
The
got it
fourth
this time.
time.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil sealed it up. The fourth one.
Yeah, the one is at the Piscata, right? Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Thanks. All right. Thanks, baby. All right. Now I need to get you onto. You have to put me back in. I have to do the
Okay.
share one more time.
Yes,
Hello?
do the share. And then I'll Yes, do the share, and then I'm gonna add to the stream.
Share, share screen.
Are you hearing me good?
I hear you.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. It says I'm sharing, but I'm
It's there
not
right
seeing.
now. Yeah, it's coming. There we go.
Okay, can you see me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now, okay. Now this is her. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Now she was in Budapest. Now, hang on. This is Dr. Nalani's daughter. She's battling this guy who is the top violinist in Budapest.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
You ain't heard nothing yet.
Hmm.
Dreadlocks master.
Here come the melanin.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like it's over.
Look,
He did what he did and better.
It got way more soul to it.
What? I could dance with that one. He look just like Dr. Nalani.
yep.
You saw how she was backing up on that violin on him? He's kind of boring. I love it. I love it. I can't stop smiling. Mm. Oh wow, that is so fresh and clean.
Yeah, that is like, I mean,
So fresh and clean.
Now they're gonna get playful.
He's all right, but he need to take a seat and let her play.
Yeah, yeah. This is they two of them going at it.
Yeah, he good. Yeah. know how to squeeze.
Watch.
He's like, I don't know what else to do.
It's two world-class musicians actually going at it
Yeah.
playfully.
Wow, I've never even saw them. I never even saw that before. That what they're doing.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Yes.
And they're gonna take it home. Birds.
There's so much you can do with the violin.
I mean, I never even saw that before. I never saw nobody.
Oh.
Hmm. She's like a treasure over there. One, two, three, four. One, two, four.
Wow, look at her. Oh my goodness. Mm, mm.
You know
Yes,
what was so? You know what was so amazing about that?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the reaction of the crowd.
Of course.
Look at where they took the crowd. You know
Of
what I'm
course.
saying? Look at what it's like. That was entertainment. Look how wild the crowd
exactly.
went over that. Like that was entertainment. You know what I
There's
mean? That
actually
was
musicianship on display. True
yeah.
hardcore musicianship. And that's what's missing. You have no idea the genius that lays dormant in our communities across the world right now. We have a young African in Africa, in I think it's either in Zimbabwe or one of the countries, the Congo. He has taken Tesla and that technology and made it obsolete.
I think I
I
saw
fear
that.
for his life. Now, where Tesla is using electricity, this young African boy is has got created a car that runs on radio frequency. In other
Mm.
Okay.
words, you dial up your car to a radio frequency and it runs. He has a television that does not plug into the wall. He stuck a particular thing he created on the back of it, and he got all the channels in the world on radio frequencies. That's the genius I'm talking about. And this is the problem we have right now in our schools and in the entertainment business. We don't control the schools. The Khazarian mafia does. We don't control the media. The Khazarian mob does. We don't control the entertainment business. The Khazarian mob does. The same mob that wants to undermine and destroy the United States
Mm.
of America. Now, I'm not talking about the United States of North America because we are the sovereign. This guy, these people here, these Europeans are the invaders. I'm talking about the United States of North America, which is a whole other America that most people are not aware of. We're not all from Africa. The indigenous peoples here were not the so called Mongols that you see pretending to be the indigenous people that Hollywood tells you. The indigenous people looks like you. The true indigenous of America looks like you.
So that's the okay. So let me ask you this. So it is like it's by design. The way they music industry and what they how they keeping like basically like the talent, the real talent from because for example like in LA I know a lot of underground rappers who and musicians who can't seem to get a fair shake right at like getting their music out, but then you know as long as but they have to talk about they have to have a certain image in order to be in order for them to the radio to play their music. They have to talk about certain things. They have to you know actually like dress a certain way. uh you know they got to look like
They
you
have to
know
talk about bitches, hoes, pimps.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, like and it seems like they can't like express themselves who they really are, but they have the like the major labels and A&Rs and stuff like that actually tell them like no, that's not gonna sell. You gotta put a dress on or something, you know, you gotta like do some stuff that you gotta do, like it's a certain, it seems like it's just a certain image that they are trying to put out there, you know
That's
what I mean?
because
And,
I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but here's the deal. You nurture your culture in the next generation. Now,
right.
when I was coming up, we heard, saying songs like "I only have eyes for you," that type of thing. We sang harmony. We sang, the songs from Motown. We sang the songs from Philadelphia International, and all of it was about love. 99% of it was love. The rest of it was about party. Okay, and we have lost that exchange between our generations because the children of today have been taught that their parents don't know anything. Their parents are stupid because they keep changing and fast tracking the technology so that young people are being conditioned to believe that because they are adept at the new technology and their parents aren't, that somehow their parents are obsolete. And we
Mm,
have not given them the kind of cultural conditioning where they can understand and appreciate music because they've never been taught what music can do. They can only, the main thing that drives our children today are the war drums. And that's what quote unquote rap is today. It's the war drum on the bottom and belligerence and anger and jealousy and, and all kind of women. What is this? WAP. What is that? When does a woman's vagina now become, the thing we put on a flag and begin to start waving it like that's the only power? What kind of nonsense did I see at the so-called BET Awards, where this woman is talking about, pull my panties to the side, and that's what we are now listening to. What happened to, ain't no stopping us now? What happened to Teddy Pendergrass? What happened to Earth, Wind,
Exactly.
and Fire? What happened to Bob Marley? What happened to
The Isley Brothers.
Burning Spear?
Hmm.
What happened to these musics that actually lifted our souls instead of
Yeah.
destroying? It's gone because we did not pass that appreciation for what made us what we are onto our children. They weren't exposed. The state took our children from us and indoctrinated them into this garbage.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
keep
but
sending our enemies, we keep sending our children, sending our children to the enemy, like Malcolm said. Why do you keep sending your children to the enemy? What do you think comes back home?
That's true. And wasn't in Texas
And you
recently
wonder
they're
why
like
it's going
how
crazy.
they're changing the go ahead. I was gonna ask him
Oh no,
if you
I was
heard
just
about
adding on.
yeah, like in school somewhere in Texas, I think if Texas is the state where they're taking the word slavery out of, like, they're not really teaching about it or something like that. They changed it into,
Yeah,
I forget
it,
what the name is.
they changed it to
Servant.
involuntary.
Servant.
Servitude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
involuntary servitude. That's what they put into the 14th Amendment. That's why. See,
Oh.
the 14th Amendment said that slavery was abolished, or there's no more slavery, but if you're a criminal, you're subjected to what is called self servitude or involuntary servitude, because that's your punishment. They can enslave you. That's why most of your furniture that they do sell in Nike and in these other places, they offload that particular job to prisoners, the ones that actually put in the last laces on Timberlands as prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a
Wow,
whole,
I didn't know that.
yeah. What
See?
happens? Most people don't know that when hip hop came in, the company, Interscope and Iveen and all the rest of these Khazarians, they saw that the young people were actually maintaining the spirit of partying and you know energizing, that heart chakra. They had to stop that. So in California, there was a meeting where they began talking to the Jimmy Iovines and the heads of these record labels, and they began bringing in young people who were the distributors and the ones who had the heads of these record companies, and said, uh, "We are building new prisons, new types of prisons, because prison is the way that they capture your exemption priority account. Your exemption priority account is that red number with the letter in front of it, red numbers with the letter in front of it. That's where your bond is. The bond that was created at your birth certificate. I don't care what country you're in. That particular bond has $1 million and is a bearer bond that was created at your birth. The social security number was nothing more than you, uh, how do I say, commercializing your birth certificate bond. So now, when they lock you up, notice that the penalty for a crime is based upon what they call it: felony, manslaughter, robbery, and so forth. Each one of these is actually a dollar value. So if they're getting you for, say, homicide, the bond on the homicide is $2.5 million. That bond itself is sold on Wall Street at whatever price they can get. So if you go into court and you demand the bond, you can walk out of the court because there's no crime based upon common law anymore. There's only statutes, codes, rules, and regulations. There's not even any judges. There's only magistrates who are managing the United States corporate debt. So when we're talking about the prisons industrial system, It was to lock up as many black folks as possible and to make the crime they commit more severe so that they can get you in that 6x8 and then get the monies from your exemption account wherever that prison is built. And that money now goes to build roads, goes to build schools for the whites where they build those black prisons. And that's what they
Hmm.
did hip hop and changed it into rap, into what they call gangster rap, because they needed
Hmm.
to change the type of music in order to make sure that there was murder, there was mayhem. And look around you today. What is the favorite thing nowadays? Is to go and get the old heads who came out of jail to talk about war stories when they were running with gangs. Who's the one?
Right.
That, who's
Exactly.
the one now has the king of all kings right now is
Right.
Snoop. And
Glorifying it.
all happy that he's doing
The
what's
crip
that?
dance,
The Crip walk.
the crip walk. Yeah,
I
yeah, the crip
remember the
walk.
Temptations doing the Temptation walk, but we were singing about love at that time.
That's where
They
they
bigged
stole
up
it
the
from.
gangster. They bigged up the
Hmm.
gangster, and they made the gangster the hero now.
So the A&Rs and the major record labels are in cahoots with the private prison industry.
Oh yeah, the prison industrial industry went to them to say we need bodies in that jail. Why do you think that your vice president was keeping the bodies in jail long after their sentences were up? Because California,
You saying Kamala Harris? Pamela
Kamala
Harris?
Yeah,
Harris, yeah,
yes.
they had to
A
go to
lot of
court
them was
after
innocent too, Papa Phil. A lot of them was
Mhm.
innocent. A
Yeah.
lot of them was innocent. And when guy was from California was saying that he don't like her because he was innocent and she knew he was innocent, but because he's black, she pushed it so hard to keep him in jail.
Because that was her ticket up the ladder. They told her what she had to do in order to make sure that California had money coming in to pay the cops, to pay the prison industrial system, and to extract the monies from it, to get free slave labor, to make the T-shirts and everything that hip hop and all these kids were buying. The prison
Wow.
industrial complex was a prison system, but it was a system much like China. It was free labor.
So that makes perfect sense because it's like the music they make the music they so that's why that answers my kind of answers my question to where why they only want to rap about guns and drugs and death and things that are going that are going to influence the youth to do certain things in order to get locked up, right? It's like a revolving circle. Like,
Let me
okay,
ask you
you
a question. Who is this kid that just got killed when he was up there flashing money and he was at this particular bed and breakfast and they came up there, robbed him, shot him a few times and killed him? This rapper,
I
this
didn't
young rapper.
I didn't hear about that. Who was that, Kufu?
uh it's like once a month a new rapper dies. So I kind of don't know. Like
My
I
son
don't
is in the business. My son was in the business and he's right now he's working his way in television now. He's on what is that? The Blue and
Blue Shield?
Blue, huh?
Is it
I'm
Blue
sorry.
Shield?
I'm not. I think it's Blue Shield or something blues. And what's that one with Dun Dun? The that cop show, very popular cop show. Well, he's on the
Law and Order.
CSI, New
Law
York.
and Order. Yeah, Law and Order. And
Uh-huh.
he sits in on that. And he was one of the top choreographers in hip hop at one point. He choreographed for Kelly Rowland, for LL Cool J, Jay Z, Mary J. Blige, and Sting. He choreographed for the Tops. They know him as Bam Bam, and he did for Coca Cola, Pepsi. He choreographed for I forgot the name of this other this AirPod. So he's out there, and he tells me all about what goes on in the business. He's my eyes and ears in there to tell me what is going on.
Hmm.
Right.
So so it's like I'm like I'm just trying to figure out, is it any way that we could bring back the love in, in the rap industry? Like, is it any way we can bring back, like, when things were, innocent?
I'm leaving that up to you, kids. You all are like, I have children older than you guys. So what am
Because
I
it
going
just
to do?
seems like a uphill battle. Like, it just seems like,
It's always been an uphill battle, brother. That's exactly what it's always been. We have never been out of war. We've just
right.
had lulls where everybody retreated back behind the enemy line. I mean behind the front lines, sat for a little while, and then they just retooled. Now they're going up on the blockchain. Now they're
Mm,
taking that their war onto the internet, which is why I am telling everyone, and I don't know how far um, your podcast will reach, but I am telling everyone about Novatech. This is run by a black woman and her husband, and she has a platform where you can make 2 to 3 to 4% on your deposit every week. And I'm saying that not to tell you anything that not to hype you or whatever you kids say, or what this thing called. What is this thing called again? Uh,
Gassing you up,
Gassing me, or another one with the kids,
gaslighting.
snap or cap or something that you all say. But
oh, Cap.
yeah, I never
You
knew
said
what that
snap.
meant. Yeah, I had to ask my son what the hell does that mean. Anyway, but what I did was I'm kind of going out there to let people know that we're we're into a recession right now based on the inflation. And if you
Mm,
look at some of the Communist Manifesto, and you see that part of the conquest and part of what what they call it was written by the Jesuits, but it was said the Jews did it. It was the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. That was actually written by the Jesuits. But the game is that you undermine a a country first of all by destroying the trust in the primary authority, which is the man. And once you destroy the trust in the primary authority in the man, in the culture and in the society, then the society splits between the man and the woman, which is what they did with feminism, gender feminism, Amazonian feminism, third wave, fourth wave. These are what the Khazarian mafia, which actually started out in the Khazarian mafia and was feminism at that time, was bankrolled by Rockefeller and actually was spearheaded by Gloria Steinem and Audre Lorde and Oprah Winfrey. They were paid in order to maintain the schism between men and women. And so
mm.
what you
Uh-huh.
have,
That's
Oh,
right.
oh, wow, wow,
That's
so
right.
wow.
so now you undermine that cohesion that actually kept us together. And now it was very easy to make sure that, first of all, you introduced the Roe versus Wade in 1972, 73. And from 1972, 73 till now, over 150 to 175,000 black babies have been aborted. We have
Wow.
now, and most people don't know what the Roe versus Wade is, and we're jumping on the bandwagon thinking that somehow women have been, somehow attacked. And it's nonsense. All Roe versus Wade said was that the Constitution does not protect a woman who wishes to kill her child. That's what this is about. It wasn't about saying you can't have an abortion. You can go to your doctor and talk about that if you want, and that's a private thing. But what it did say
Right.
is you're not going to actually use federal, which is public funds, on a private and personal matter. And that's what they did. They wanted to get into the public coffers. Plus, the abortion issue was about them using all of that because the aborted fetuses was what they were using in the vaccines. You have to know that was a business. Abortion is an industry. It's a genocidal industry. And so what you got now, right now, is women arguing about the fact that it's my body, my choice. Okay. Well, you have the choices to do anything you want. They put all of the end results for everything between us as a family, as a male and a female. They put all the decision making on the woman. So
Mm.
what do I mean? Okay, I'll ask this question. I ask this of women. Okay, if you just had a baby, do you have the option to put it up for adoption? And she says yes, and everybody says yes. Okay, but does the man have the option to say no? I don't want to take this care of this child.
No, he doesn't.
No, they
He gonna
No,
don't.
do what she want. Mm-hmm.
right.
And
So,
even if he does say that, they'll put him on child support. Like,
well,
they'll throw that.
just to tell you that
Right.
if you put power, which women today don't know how to use, you see, power was never meant for her. Power is something that men have to be trained in what to do. See, a man's value isn't when he's 18, 19, and 20. And what they've done is they've made 18, 19, and 20-year-olds the litmus for what a man is. And these 18, 19, and 20-year-old boys are not men yet.
Right.
They're nothing but hormones and sneakers. So you know what I'm talking about. You men, you know us men.
Yes. I couldn't have said it better. Like I like that. I'm gonna have to borrow that from you, Baba.
No,
I'm
go
gonna have to
right
borrow
ahead.
that from you. I love that.
You
Put
got
on
you
them
got these,
sneakers.
yeah, you
Put
got
on a
these
pair of
boys.
sneakers and step right in.
You got these boys who are thinking with the little head instead of the big head.
Right.
And that's what's now motivating all the behavior in our young people because the onus of all the attention is on them. But you know that a woman reaches her prime between the ages of 16 and 24, 25. Okay? But they told her that she needs to go get a career. She needs to go ahead and take that time when she's at her most fertile and her strongest to bear children. She's now bearing money and taxes for the white man. And they're
Mm.
telling her that she is getting strong. You're independent, girl. You go, girl. You're a powerful woman. Not realizing that them eggs don't get any fresher with age. Now, understand what happens now. She's now being told you can go ahead, whore, score, do what you want to do, run the club, go ahead, have a what do you call it, a wild girl weekend or whatever they call it. But see, as a young man, 18, 19, 20, and 21, you ain't worth nothing to them. You're
Mm.
you're fun to them because you don't have any resources. You don't start actually getting more and more interesting, and you as a man do not come into your own until you're in your late 20s and 30s.
Right.
When you're 30, you're now assuming that you're doing the right thing during the 20s and you're getting yourself ready. Unless you are doing something stupid with your life, if you are doing what you need to do, by the time you're 30 years of age, you have resources. Now you have value. The value of a woman now, they're telling you, since you're equal, is somehow that you can do what a man does. You can wait till you're 30. You don't have to need children at your 30, 35, 40. No. Why am I talking like this? Because I wrote a book called The Wounded Womb. And in there, everything that Kevin Samuels was talking about, I talked about 30 years ago.
I
And
have
the
the DVD.
problem,
Mm-hmm.
I'll show it to you if you wish, but I'm saying what it is we twisted, we turned it over. We made women believe that they're equal to men. But we don't even know what a woman is today because you can't even define that anymore. They say, what is a
That's true.
woman? I mean, what do you think a woman means? No, no, no. What's a woman? And now the vagaries of language, that's part of what they did with the women's conference in Beijing in 1995, 96. They were supposed to destroy all gender-based language. That was part of the conquest for the United States of America to destroy the gender-based languaging system, uncle, aunt, father, mother. They were supposed to destroy all of that and turn you into drones. So you lost your identity as men and women, and that's what they're doing. Look at this generation today. They're the most
Oh,
focused generation on the planet. Why? Because we let them be exposed to those who corrupted their minds. You
that's
have
true.
these transgender, transsexuals, trans what do you call it? These people who dress like women coming into classes to teach our children and read to them.
Yeah, what's up with that? Like,
What's up?
when did that?
What you
When
know?
did
Strategy.
like?
That's the strategy
Yeah.
to undermine and destroy the minds of our children. Dressing
So that
boys.
explains why, like I kind of mentioned earlier, that explains why young certain rappers, I'm not gonna say anybody's name, but certain rappers look like they be wearing their grandma's jewelry, tight pearl necklace, like feminine type of, and you know what I'm saying? That explains
Coming out
that.
in
That
full
kind of, it's
dresses.
just
They're
making
coming
so
out.
much sense right
They're
now.
coming
That
out
kind of,
in full Vogue. They're coming out in full Vogue dresses to walk
yeah,
the red carpet.
yeah, yeah.
And you know, one of my mentors, Dr. Neely Fuller, he spoke about this back in the 1960s and 70s. He said that men will be put in dresses to wear dresses. And he said that back in the 1970s, 80s. Dr.
Wow.
Neely Fuller, look him up.
And then look who came out, Tyler Perry, right? The whole time, the
Oh,
my dear thing came out. Like,
you don't even talk about him.
Not just him, a few of them wearing the dresses. That's why they don't like Dave Chappelle, because he refused to do that.
but Barbara Valentine, you mentioned Oprah, all right? You
Okay.
mentioned Oprah, right?
Yeah.
I always felt weird about the movie The Color Purple. I felt like The Color Purple um made the black man the villain. Like, it made him what was his name? Danny Glover, I think that's his name. Like, that movie,
Yeah.
it 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 had a weird, it had some weird things to it that never really resonated with my spirit. Because I grew, my mom and my older sisters, they would watch it. You know what I mean? And it kind of like,
I'll tell you the story behind that.
okay, I'm listening.
Whoopi Goldberg, Gloria Steinem, Oprah, and some other one went to Steven Spielberg's office and demanded that that book that was written by what's her name, another feminist whose daughter turned against her for being a feminist, demanded that they do Color Purple, or else they were going to boycott everything. Or they're going to gather all the feminists together and boycott all his movies. That's how that thing got made.
Wow. So it's a feminist movie.
Of course it is. It's a way of detaching us. Remember, the whole mission was to cause a rise of distrust amongst our women. The women
Mm,
distrust us because you have to remember it was an old tactic. They used to kill the strongest quote buck in front of the
right.
women and children to bring them to heel. Well, they did the same thing, but they did it with stealth. Remember, the art of war is what's being conducted against us. Sun Tzu. And
Mm,
what they did was, Sun Tzu, if you read the book, it said that to undermine a greater enemy, a more powerful enemy, you have to infiltrate them at their cultural as well as societal root. And what you do is you seed distrust of the primary authority, which is the man. The woman is the
right.
secondary authority. But what the Romans used to do after they conquered is to flip the switch. And they used to send the strongest men away to different lands where they conquered so that there would be the occupying army. And then they would raise the woman to the status of primary authority in the society. And that's exactly what has happened. They have
Right.
they got to hold. First of all, what they did was they had to get rid of the jobs that kept us as men in charge of our families. So they shipped all of the manufacturing jobs that gave us the chance to be a middle class, to build ourselves up, to raise ourselves up from the so-called ghetto, the education system, all of it, all became feminized. And then they shipped all of the jobs, manufacturing jobs, and all the jobs that had to deal with intellectual. They changed the curriculum and they shipped it overseas, and they were making big profit because they did not have to pay the kind of wages to those slave laborers over there in India and China
So that explains why nowadays everything is made in China when you look on the back of it.
and
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
And Japan. Wow.
Yeah.
And Taiwan.
Indeed.
That is that's very powerful, and it's just like filling in some questions that I always had, you know what I mean? Like from like you explained the color purple, that just like really hit me right there because all this whole time I felt like, you know what I'm saying? I never felt like Oprah was really like
Right.
I felt like she always had some type of agenda besides what was right for, felt like she always had some type of other agenda, you know what I mean? And
Well,
like
the thing is that what do we learn from history? Because if we were taught to write history, we'd be learning about what not to do anymore.
Right.
We're never taught what our history is. We don't know what we are and who we were and what we did to create this country. This European didn't make us into Americans. We, who are the original Americans, the indigenous Americans, turned him into American. Remember, he came from a despotic monarchy. The original 13 colonies were black. There weren't these Europeans you see here. There was a
That's
Supreme Court in 1790, 17 what is it, 17 I think it was 1712. There was a Supreme Court on this land. The Six Nation Confederacy of the Iroquois is where Benjamin Franklin and Washington and Hamilton, they all went to the Six Nation Confederacy Longhouse and learned all that they did about putting up a republic. And you're right, Dave Chappelle did wear a dress in Robin Hood men in tights. And that's why he said it ain't funny anymore. Because he did it.
mm.
and we realized what the scheme
And you
was.
know what? They basically tried to
What was
destroy
the
him as
scheme?
his character. They tried to like they destroy his whole career after that. After he basically got on there and was honest about that situation,
Well, everybody, the thing is, it wasn't just him. It wasn't like the black man was the only one in the dress. They had about five characters. All of them were in dresses to try to get into the castle. So I could see them playing that game.
Remember Shanae with Martin Lawrence?
Yeah, well, he definitely, I don't, for him and Betty Murphy, I can't be bothered with them.
Jamie Foxx put a and Wesley Snipes. If you go down the list, Wesley Snipes did that movie.
Yeah,
Jamie Foxx did the dress thing. Like if you can just go down the list, you know what I mean, of people of it seems like they just want you to put yourself out there for the world to see.
Tu
You know what I
Wong
mean?
Fu, Tu
Yeah, what
Wong
is
Fu.
it about this dress thing? What is it that they put a black man in the dress? What is it so bad that they want you to get in that dress? And if you say no, they try to smear your career.
Well,
Yeah.
it's emasculation. You have to remember that there is a ritual you have to go through. There is a ritual where you have to be sexed, and they have to commit sodomy on you on screen. That's how they got to Congress. They would force congressmen to have sex with little children, and they would film it.
Uh-huh.
That's why you can't get anything done in Congress, because
Wow.
those who run it, the Rothschilds, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, all of them. They're the ones who film. You think Ghislaine Maxwell, she thinks she got off light.
She sure
All
did.
Yeah, you know why? Because most of the people that was actually in that trial was probably on camera, and bet you, she'll disappear from everywhere. You won't hear nothing from her, and they'll put her on an island or someplace where they do tennis and they,
Change her identity, huh? Change her name and all of that.
the
Yeah.
same way they did with what's his name, the guy who supposedly killed himself,
Epstein.
Oh,
Epstein.
so
No,
he didn't. So they said he killed himself, but he really didn't. He's like he
no,
probably didn't even go to jail, huh?
no. He went to Israel. They put him in Israel, and he underwent facial changes.
Wow.
I believe all of that. That's
I
right.
do
I
too.
believe
You know, it makes sense because
it. Mhm.
they're above the law. The law that they got set for us, like, you
But
know
they
what
have
I
no
mean?
country. They have no country. They do not have allegiance. Once they take the oath, they have no allegiance to any nation. They have no allegiance to any nation, to the Constitution. There's something called the Kol Nidre, the Kol Nadir. This is what the Jews who are in Congress, they take an oath, to the Constitution. But during, I think it would be, what is that time when they have penance? Um, Not juniper. What is that? It's a time when they go to confess. Now, oh, what is that? Shoot, my brain is off. Matter of fact, I need to call my wife because I'm way past the time. Um,
Purgatory.
no, yeah, no, it's there's the Jubilee. There's the Jubilee, and during the Jubilee,
Mhm.
they have they they have where they go and they call it the Kol Nadir, and this is when they go before their rabbi, and then they denounce any oath to what they were making the promises, and they get forgiven for making an oath while they were in office, and they take the oath that Israel is their true master. So they wipe themselves clean of any kind of connection to oaths that they take to the people. They don't have to obey those oaths, and so they go to their rabbi. They do the kol nidra, and their sins are washed clean, no matter what they do.
And they basically tell us that's basically telling us like whatever I made an oath to you about, I don't have to even go by that anymore. If
Nope.
I just basically lied to all of y'all, and
Right?
now I can go,
Yeah,
you know
you
what
can.
I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can go just, I
Yeah.
can just shake y'all and whatever I said I was gonna do for y'all, and now I can come over here and just get a clean slate and ain't got to worry about nothing I told you guys.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
You have no your obligations to follow through with any of your promises.
And they
So
think some
to
type
the
of way
Goy.
that their God is connected to that, that He forgives them for that. That's
Yeah, to what they call this, to the goy, to the goyim, which are the cattle they call us. With the cattle.
wow.
Mm.
So, but I just want to wrap by letting you know that if there's anything positive that I can offer to you all, we have our consultations, we have our exemption packages. If you don't want to, take that, I know you're going up on YouTube. So if you are going to YouTube, I would definitely not mention certain things. You can go to. I would suggest that if you are interested, call. You can call me. If you want to participate in the webinar coming up on the 17th, you can call. But I would suggest that you go to Sunnu SUNNU 777 at Gmail. Put webinar in all caps into the subject box, and I will send you the link so that you can register for the 17th. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It begins, and it's going to go on for about 7 hours. So I would suggest you get into what you can at this point before it closes out. And I would suggest also that that if you want to make sure that your monies are not falling prey to the inflation that is getting ready to happen and the depression that's getting ready to come down, I seriously think that you should really consider dealing with Novatech. And if you want more information about Novatech, and this is another number I suggest for you, you should call a brother by the name of Reggie Juzang, Juzz or Juzang, Juzang. Just call him Reggie. But his number is 415 756 5676. Once again, 415 756 5676. Remember, this particular platform was actually created by a black woman, an ingenious of a black woman with her husband, and she's a multi-billionaire. She's in Africa now, trying to get everybody into her platform at this time. And I would suggest that you seriously consider putting some of your money where it's going to appreciate instead of hemorrhage value, which is what's happening in the bank right now. Your dollar, with all the printing of the trillions of dollars they printed, it's already created inflation, and you want to make sure that the monies you have, you either put in gold, silver, or in something that appreciates every week. Your bank will never give you 2 and 3% on your deposit every week. In fact, at the end of the year, you might get a 0.01% on your entire deposit for the year, because they take your money and they put it together in a pool and they trade it for billions of dollars. You don't get that. But in this
Yes.
particular case, this is the account that you deal with. And then they'll also talk to you about FTX, which is where you segue the money so that you can actually get a card and have your money appreciating rather than depreciating in the banks. So call Reggie at 415 756 5676. Or when you're dealing with any, you want to deal with our university to join us for our metaphysical psychology courses, you can also call me at that number, 800-847-1291.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm gonna look into that, and I appreciate you coming on, and you gave me a lot of homework, to look into, and it's like my mind is racing right now, so I got a lot of things I'm gonna look into, and I appreciate the time that you giving us tonight, and teaching us some things that
Yes. Always a pleasure.
is just very powerful, much appreciated, and like I said, I'm definitely going to look into everything that the links and the things that you've shared with us tonight, because it's all positive and it's what we really need to look into. um, so I'm just ready. I'm ready to, like, as soon as we get off of this live, I'm like looking at my computer. I'm just going to start doing some research on some stuff.
And
It's just
keep looking, keep searching, and get in if you want to get into some cryptocurrency, but not Bitcoin, because it
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Bitcoin. What's your opinion on that?
that's NSA and CIA. You don't want to deal with that. It's another trap by the big boys. You want to
That's
get into XRP.
the way to control money and make you broke.
I'm sorry.
That sure is one way to control your money and make you broke. If
Yeah,
aid controls it.
yeah. It's actually a CIA and NSA, and the guy who worked for the NSA supposedly helped make Bitcoin. He made XRP, which is supposed to be a better version of Bitcoin, and you can get that at 30 cents now. And that's going to be the new bridge currency for all the banks around the world. So you might want to think about looking at just to hedge your bet. XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, QUANT or QNT. There's another one, ADA or Cardano. These are some of the coins that have use case, and there's over 20,000 coins now. All of them are going to get washed down the toilet, except the ones that the bankers are going to be using. So, like I said, XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, QUANT, and ADA or Cardano. Those are the tops that I, deal with right now. And again, you got to hedge your bets because everything you're dealing with right now falls under the category of a compelled benefit. Compelled benefit means you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice but to use the dollar, for instance. But that's a crime to use the dollar. But you have to do it. So it's called a compelled benefit. All right. So anyway, that being the case, I want to thank you very much for your kind invitation. And sister, keep on practicing, with your violin. That's your spirit catcher. And free yourself from it so that you can own it and own the music afterwards.
Yes.
Right.
And when you were showing us the videos, do you know YouTube shut us down? That when you were showing us the Buddha Fest
Really?
with your daughter,
Yeah.
YouTube
Well,
shut it down. Every time you come on someone's platform, they always got to come in with their glitches. They literally shut it off right in the middle of it. It
well,
got shut off.
you can go there and go to, Maz Swift. That's her last name, Maz Swift at the Budapest Bar. As if you want to look at her. She was there twice.
Right, right.
Wow.
She's very
Okay.
inspiring.
Family?
Does she teach violin lessons, Baba Phil?
No, she doesn't. She's traveling right now. She has
Oh,
she's all around the world right now. She's very much in demand. So, like I said, she played with the tops, and she, matter of fact, she was asked to play with the Los Angeles Philharmonic, and she is one of three who was asked to create a a 3-part melody to play in the Hollywood Bowl, and she got 2 standing ovations for
Wow.
her for what she created. So
of
she's doing
course,
well.
of course.
She's doing well.
She's excellent. She is excellent.
She's
Love
awesome.
it. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that with us.
you're most
Even though
welcome.
we saw the full thing, but the
Yeah,
viewers they cut it off from the viewer side. Even though we saw it, they shut half of it off from the viewer side. So they did get to see it. They just
okay.
didn't get to see it in its fullness.
It's
I don't know
fullness.
what YouTube was tripping about, some privacy policy or something. I don't know. Did you
Well, they
need
were
permission
probably
to show us
saying,
that?
yeah, but the music was not really. It was not really belonged to anybody. It was just something that they were riffing on. So it was nothing really that they. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
exactly,
you
exactly.
saw it. You saw it.
They
So
have
don't
it
worry.
on YouTube. So then why we can't watch it? It's on YouTube.
Right.
We're
Right.
on YouTube, and he picks up
We
something. He
all
put a
know what's
video
going
from
on.
YouTube on
Yeah,
YouTube.
we all know what's going on. None of that was a coincidence. Like, come on now.
Hmm
We already know.
Right.
Right,
Same
family.
Um,
thing, Baba Phil. When we
okay.
had Sophia, look, we trying to keep you on here. Same thing when we had Sophia Stewart. She kept glitching.
Yeah, I know. I love Sis Sophia. Anyway, I'm out, family. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Y'all
thank you,
take care.
Really
Baba.
appreciate you.
Appreciate
Big
you.
All right.
Love
Peace.
and gratitude. Yes, that was awesome. That was awesome.
yeah, that was
That was
awesome.
awesome. That was awesome. I just, like I said, as a student, I just listen. I got a few questions, but mainly I just wanted to listen. Um, a lot of things, like I said, I'm gonna do some research. I was
You had a
typing
few
most of,
questions.
but I was doing mainly I was typing, trying to save a lot of the stuff he
Everything he
said,
said.
and a lot of the names and things he brought up that I didn't know about. I'm sitting here typing, putting everything into my laptop, and I'm just going, I'm gonna go wild with it. I'm gonna go look up a lot of stuff and do
Hmm
some research on some things so I can have a better understanding on some things. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was definitely homework.
Right.
Um, I wanted to talk
And
more
it's
about.
definitely a sign
I
from
have
you.
I always have a lot to say, but not enough time. You know what I mean? So I gotta learn how to ask the most important things. And you know what I'm saying? But with so much knowledge, he just takes
Right,
you
right.
somewhere all the way. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just end up listening because the elders are so full of
Yeah,
knowledge and
exactly,
wisdom.
exactly.
It's like my little question don't even matter. I just really want to hear what he got to say, really. You know what I mean about things. But he
Don't
said it was
worry,
up
it'll
to
be
us.
another time.
Yeah, ultimately he said it
It's
was up to
true.
us to figure out what to do about this music thing, but I just feel like we need to come together, like-minded people need to come together and find a
And
way
show
to
different.
promote.
So we need to show different styles of music. Not
Yeah, that's what I'm
necessarily different
saying.
styles of music. I should be saying we should show different okay, rap from a conscious level. You get what I'm trying to
That's
say?
what I'm
Like the
trying to say.
conscious
Bring
rappers.
back conscious
So we
rap. Bring back
Mhm.
um
Because
Met-
they're out there. Those artists is out there. I sent you some to your email, Kufu. You know, you got Stigalo, you got Kambada, Black Dot. It's so much conscious rappers out there, and we just need to get them more exposed. So one could
yeah,
see
that
that,
it's like because
music
see we
doesn't have
have
to always go to the trash.
it's a lot of
Go
free
ahead.
platforms though, like that we actually can be helping promote some of these brothers. I'm down with that. I'm down with whatever is positive, whatever's going to better uplift us, because that's what we need right now. Like especially in the music industry, every month a new rapper dead. Every two
Yeah, I
weeks,
know.
like what part of the game is that? Like when
Exactly.
it seemed like now I
And
know
he's
rappers
always
used to
dying in his hood. He's always dying
look.
where he come from.
I
Well,
know rappers used to die before Tupac and Biggie got killed, but it seemed like since they got killed, it just became part of the culture.
It went crazy. Yes.
Like once Tupac and Biggie got killed, it just seems like it brought in that became part of the hip hop culture to make a few albums and get killed. Now you're everybody every time you look around, you get a few single hits, make $1 million. See, I wanted to ask him about that life insurance too. How these record labels is putting life insurance on the rappers, and then mysteriously the rapper pop up dead. I mean, that's
Exactly.
happening. That's literally happening. So it's like, are they putting life insurance on people and setting them up? You
yeah,
got to ask yourself that.
yeah.
Of course. Of course they are. Because they don't last long. Look at King Von. I'm thinking King Von was still alive. You telling me he died months ago.
Yeah, he been gone
Look at Young Dolph. Look
every
what happened to
time.
look what happened to Pimp C.
He got. Hey, I looked at that interview when he was talking about some stuff, and then shortly after that he ended up dead when he was talking when he was kind of exposing certain people in the industry, and then he ended up dead.
Yes.
It's not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else, he's not a rapper. Have you heard of Patrice O'Neal? He was a
Mm-mm.
comedian.
No.
Well, okay, look his name up. His last one of his last stand-ups was called The Elephant in the Room. He came on and he came on a I don't know if it was a radio show or a podcast or it was something like that, but it was just the audio of him talking, right? And he was basically talking about the same type of things that Pimp C was talking about, right? And then he ends up dead. He he was on the Chappelle show. You remember the pimp? Remember the pimp scenes, the pimp skit
Yeah.
on the Chappelle show? Well, he was Pitbull. Pitbull. Remember Pitbull on the Dave Chappelle show? Anyway, but yeah,
The
him.
rapper Pitbull, the
No, his
Spanish.
name was Pimp. His pimp name on the Dave Chappelle skit was
Oh, and
Pitbull.
the shit. Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about the rapper at one point. Yeah,
So
go
when
ahead.
next time you run across the Dave Chappelle show, look at that. And he's a heavy set brother. That was Patrice O'Neal. But he was talking about, how the banks own a lot of everything. Like there's certain people, certain families that own certain banks that fund both sides of wars. And like he just started going in deep on some stuff. And he ended up dead. So it's like it's not a coincidence. Yeah, but like I said, just as far as rap go and music go, you know, um, it's like they take what we do great and turn it against us. They
Yeah.
rap, like I've been saying, hip hop is the most influential genre of music on the planet, hands down. Find me another music that's more influential than hip hop. You know what I mean? Find me it. And let's see. Let's see if it's something else out there. But I don't think so. You know what I mean? And they knew that was too powerful. At first, they was trying to ban it. When they found out they couldn't ban it, they infiltrated it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
then here come these NWAs and these, like I said, all these people. NWA, I mean, they had talent. Easy E, Ice Cube, they're talented. I'm glad Ice Cube kind of broke away and started doing like his America's Most Wanted stuff and all that. But generally speaking, they got rid of the Public Enemies and the X Clan. Remember X Clan? Like they got rid
Yeah.
of all them. You know, they got rid of all that and just came with the gangster rap.
And
Yeah.
the Force MCs. The
We
Force,
were, we were being told shit that we should already knew. And they were
Thank
sick. So they had to get rid of that. Offering Hollywood contracts, all kind of shit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, us that's been living long enough to see what happened.
Exactly. Because I'm
See,
a
we
70s baby. I was born 1974. So the caliber of music that I grew up on, the Gap Band, Isley Brothers, Barry White, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
Um,
78. I was born in 78, so
AC,
that
the
ain't too far
Sunshine
from.
Band, you know what I'm saying? McFadden, and so
Yeah.
the psychedelics and them type of people. I'm not this right here that's going on. That's how I know that when Dr. Phil broke that down and was like it's trash when he was on Brother Rich platform, I can identify with him 100%. It is
Oh, it's
straight trash.
100% trash.
It's
It's
just like I can
100%.
remember in my mother's belly hearing the Gap Band, the Isley Brothers, music that I can play today, and it seems like I was around when they came out with the music, David. That's just how well connected I am to it because that's what I heard from the womb.
And
That's
not
what I
only
heard
that,
coming up.
it was the
98.7.
energy like Earth, Wind, and Fire, for example. Like that, Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Oh, please, we don't even want to get started on them.
they're directly connected. You know, if you look at some of their album covers, they had pyramids and Haru.
Okay,
They
they
had,
brought
they
out
was,
Kimmel in a minute. Yes, they brought
it's
Kimmel out,
like
and people still didn't get it. They just looked at it
they
as
didn't,
art or
it
whatever.
just went in one ear and out the other. It went right over everybody's head. The message they was
Mhm.
trying, they was trying to display. And we
Even
need to bring that. We need to
remember,
tap into that type of whatever Earth, Wind, and Fire and those type of brothers got going on. That energy is still out there. We just need
remember
to
the
tap into it.
Funkadelics, and they came on stage with the big pyramid,
Yeah.
Mr. Funkenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Back in his time, they're coming on stage, David, and their concerts with a big pyramid coming out of this from the ceiling, and they all come down some stairs of the pyramid. All right, yeah, they may have dressed a little weird and had a little weird side to them, but you knew what their music was about. Their
But
music
guess
had
what?
meaning. It had some
I'll
substance.
take they weird anytime other than this new weird shit that these
Oh,
dudes are doing. I'll take
tell me
they
about
weird
it.
anytime.
They were weird, but they had girlfriends. You get what I'm trying to say? They
Yeah,
were
they
weird,
had
but
wives and
they were
kids
good
at
women.
home. Yeah, they had wife and kids at home. They didn't have their grandmama's jewelry on.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so I'll take our weird from that day anytime than this new weird stuff that these new cats is doing. Hey, it's that's why I asked him, like, what did we do? I was trying to ask Valentine, like, but I guess that was a very wise answer. Like, it's on us. The answer is
Exactly.
on me. Not it ain't
Exactly.
on the answer is on us. That he put all the power in our hands, you know what I mean? Which is I can understand that, you know what I mean? Like,
It's like we gave it away, so now you got to be the one to go take it back.
yeah,
And
but where did we start
do
though? It's
that.
like,
We could do that by exposing the conscious rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like how we on the platform now, we could play their music for like 30 minutes just so the world can get an exposure of, oh, okay, Cambada, Stigalo, they rhyming like that, they rapping like that for real, Black Dot. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. But I know I'm familiar with those, main three right there that you can readily go on YouTube, punch their name in, and then here go their music. And they also doing community work. So they're not just sitting up there rapping like they're conscious and ain't doing community work. They're actually doing it. You understand what I'm saying? And performing in different states and bringing that positive message out. But you got to be in that circle and be on that vibration to even know about them. You know what I mean?
yeah, and and when you've been indoctrinated and your mind and your spirit has been
Exactly.
like toxic, saturated with toxicity, basically. Like you don't be wanting to hear the good shit. You want to hear this,
exactly.
So that's what we dealing with. We dealing with people who are sick from their spirits are sick from um listening to that toxic stuff. You know what I mean? And they think that that's what's,
Yeah.
they don't want to hear nothing that is going to combat what they've been raised, what they've been listening to for the last,
Right.
6-7 years. You know what I mean? So, but it's all
That's
about
100.
leading by example. I think if we can lead by example, if we can create some type of avenue for rappers that don't want to rap about killing people, that don't want to run around, have a big as obsolete as money is about to be, these Negroes is having big
we,
wads of money up to their ear like a damn phone.
we would have to own that. We would have to own that label exclusively. Got a bunch
Right.
of big P Diddy's and all of them with all the millions and big dollars. Make your own. But see, they stuck where they are because they probably have a clause in their contract where they can't do that. God damn
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
because
they
they have an opportunity to change the tone of the music. That 440 hertz that we listening to, that shit is detrimental to your spirit. That
That's right.
tears down the spirit. That's why I said I'm born in 74. I'm 47 years old. I'll be 48 in 2 more days. I came from the 528, 432 hertz music. I didn't come from this 440. This 440 is like trash, like Baba
Yeah.
said. It's straight trash.
Hey, I'm gonna get I'm gonna buy me a violin and
trash.
I'm gonna buy me a
Huh?
violin and play for your birthday. I'm gonna play a violin. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try for your
Well, that's
birthday.
2 days. That's in 2 days from now. So I don't know how you're going. Wait a minute. You see when Baba Phil pulled up the children plane? You see how I put her back in the case, right? I said, okay. I'll wake you back up when it's just me and you. We ain't about to do this because they ain't gonna shame me on candy camera, okay?
Yeah,
I
you
was
put
gonna
that
try to show
violin up
you a
real
little
quick.
something.
I saw you put it right back in the case, like, hold up. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny as hell. I wanted to laugh, but I was like, I ain't gonna do that. She said, let me put this up. Like, cause hey, them kids was just I never saw them before. Like that was,
I remember them when they was
that was
smaller. They've grown up.
hey, look, the talent that they displayed was like that has to come from a higher place. That came from the universe. That came from, you know, a connection to everything that exists type shit. Like that was just like to be able to tap into that, and the way she played that piano, it was just like it was come from a high. It's come from something bigger than, you know what I'm saying, the a human. That was
Well,
like a universal.
just like Baba said, once you connect with the spirit of the instrument, you control it. You know what I'm saying? You open up to it. So you can do whatever you want with it after you get it.
Yeah,
But what does it take?
whenever I see skill like that, what comes to mind is repetition. A
You
lot
gotta
of
keep doing it.
repetition.
That's right.
A lot of repetition.
And
Yeah, practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect.
There's another group called Black Violin. They're from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 2 brothers play hip hop music on the violin.
Yeah, I saw them.
And there's another one called Seth G. He's from out of North Carolina, playing hip hop, R&B, white boy music on the violin. Then you got Daniel D. You kind of favor Daniel D a little bit, Kufu. He's from South Carolina. Another one sick on the violin. Okay.
Hey, I didn't even get into
I'm
talking
talking about
about.
brothers, though. These are brothers that will take Lil Wayne's song "How to Love" and play it on the violin. These are brothers that'll take Flo Rida song and play it on the violin.
Hey, but you know what? That's what we can do. Like that. That's what.
Alicia Keys song and play her music on the violin.
I heard that. I heard them before. I've heard of them. I've actually heard of them before. You know what I mean?
Black Violin went to New York and they opened up every opera house in New York City. Opened it.
And blew up, huh?
And then not only are they playing violin, they on the piano, like the children we saw. So they from the violin to the piano, all those string instruments. And then he sings. The other one, the dark skinned guy from Black Violin, he also sings. I think his name is Will. Got a nice voice, playing the piano, and then he plays the bigger violin, not the size I have. It's a bigger, another extra big size that he plays on the violin. If YouTube wasn't acting so silly tonight, they sillier
Hey,
than
so
them
what
people.
happened with that? YouTube shut your YouTube down or what?
They didn't shut it down, but what they did was while he halfway into the Budapest concert we were watching with his daughter,
Uh-huh.
they said some copyrights nonsense. Remember, he pulled it up off of YouTube. So if you pulled it up off of YouTube and now you're sharing a screen on YouTube, what's the problem? What privacy right you need? Why do you even have it on YouTube if that's the case?
No, what it was is
Because he was encouraging the black children that this is what you need to do. Besides hanging out with people like Nicki Minaj, hang out with a violin, hang out with the instruments, since they took all of that, because he was talking some real talk. That's all that is. He was coming with real wisdom. You see, people like to throw that word wisdom and knowledge around so loosely when they mad and in their feelings and they want to be vindictive and silly and stupid. They don't know what wisdom and knowledge is. You can't fathom what wisdom and knowledge is. You couldn't fathom what that is.
no, they don't see nowadays they don't care about wisdom or knowledge. They don't. They don't care about that no more. A lot of people don't. I ain't gonna say everybody. I ain't gonna put everybody under one, umbrella, but I just want to reach the youth because they the future. You know what I mean? And it's like that's who we need to be worried about. Because a lot of people that are age and up, a lot of people are that are our age are stuck in their ways. Like they already think they know it all. They already think they know.
Exactly.
They
That's
already
why I
think
just
they have the
leave them
answers
where
to
they at.
everything
And we see that on social media.
every day. Every day. You know what I
And
mean?
even the
Like every
ones
day.
that's in their 30s talk like they in their 50s. Well, think they talking like they in their 50s and 60s, but you can tell that they're just full of chit chatter. They just keep typing a whole lot of stuff to try to make it look like they make sense, and they really don't be making sense.
They just got out of their 20s thinking they know everything.
Exactly.
It's
Like some of it, you can't even be mad. You just have to laugh and shake your head. Like this is such a
yeah,
shame.
yeah, nowadays that's what you gotta do because
This is
people
such
that are
a shame.
confused will confuse you if you allow it. They'll,
Yeah, I
hurt
see that.
people.
I
And if
see
they're
that.
hurt, they'll hurt you. If they
Mm-hmm.
confuse, they'll confuse you because when
Mm-hmm.
you care about your people and you try to help them and teach them and
Right.
not like you know everything, but you might know a little more than somebody who's 30 years old. You've been living longer. You've got have more
Exactly.
experiences. You've
Exactly.
experienced more things in life. And it's like instead of taking on advice, they want to look at you like you trying to control. I don't know. Like maybe I don't know if control is the right word, but somewhere we lost touch with the elders passing on knowledge to the young to people younger, and the people that are younger actually opening their mind up and listening. There's a disconnect somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
like
Right.
I think that plays an
And
important
I
role
think
in.
sometimes that disconnect comes from the type of elders that we talking about. Because some of those elders, like you said, they just stay in their box. They're not trying to expand their consciousness. So
Hey, but guess what though? You know what I'm learning? My concept of elders has changed as of recently.
been
Just
changed
because
for
you
me.
s-
It's
just
been
because you
changed for
60
me.
to 70 years old don't mean you're an elder.
Sure don't. Mm-mm.
An elder is someone who like the Baba we just talked to. That's my elder. That
Exactly.
to me, he fits the description of what an elder is.
Mm-hmm.
He has so much jewels he passes on to us, so much knowledge, so much. He's given me
And
so many
he's not
avenues.
closed in a box. He's not
Yeah,
just
he's
stuck
not
on
just some.
one thing. Oh, I only
Yeah,
read
just
the
because
Bible. That's all I want to read. I only know this because all the truth is in this. That's all I know. And if you talk about the Bible on social media, I think that you don't have wisdom and knowledge. Idiots. Just idiots. Just idiots.
don't do that. Don't
I've
do it.
seen it.
Don't
I'm telling you. Just
don't do it. That's a whole nother
idiots.
show. I don't even have no brain energy for that Bible stuff right now. Like it's just that
No,
has to
I
be a
just had
whole
to
nother
throw that
show.
out there because I just had to throw that out there because Baba Phil is surpassed that.
Yes,
He
it's so much
surpassed that.
past
He's
that.
on a whole, you take his webinar that he was talking about, you're gonna see he don't need that Bible nonsense. He don't need that to
No,
be where in
nah,
the
he
meditation
been
mind
he
that
been
he's in right
dismantled the Bible like 8, 9 years ago. Like I've been looking at all his stuff. I've been following him for a long time now. He's
exactly.
been
That's
dismantled that.
why I went there with the Bible because I remember seeing a lot of his documentaries when they were on DVD
Yeah.
before YouTube even started kicking off.
Uh-huh.
I
When
was
he was
buying his
younger.
DVDs.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Younger
understand what I'm
Phil.
saying? So
He
it
been
wasn't no
took that apart.
problem. I didn't have a problem scooting away from those Bible vibes because I'm hearing an elder, okay, a real elder that got real wisdom and real knowledge, not just him, Ashra Kwesi, Dr. Ray Hagen, the two Dr. Bens. You understand what I'm saying? Watching them for years and years at a time, and it resonates with you. It sits well with you. You see that they're not saying nothing wrong. You know it,
Right.
especially if you're trying to expand your consciousness. So I can hear him say, "You don't need this Bible, blah blah blah." But this is a way we going here. This is what we need to reach this, or we need to do that. You can see that and apply it, and you're like, you know what? For real, that thing is just a hold down. It's just a straight
It
hold down,
is.
brethren.
It was
Stagnation for us. Okay, use it for your own little abilities, but try to expand off of that. Please try to expand off of that.
my best advice would be don't take any of those stories literally because that's the problem people have. They
That's
think
not gonna happen. It
I
has to
know,
be
but
real.
that's the main issue. That's the main issue is these y'all think that these stories are real. You think that the earth really got flooded with a and Noah built a boat that fit all the animals on this planet on one boat. You actually think that happened, huh? You actually think that the Red Sea got split and who was that the Pharaoh was chasing, who was he chasing?
Moses.
Moses, right?
Yeah, he was chasing Moses in the middle of it. Y'all really thought you really think that happened, huh?
Yeah, they think it happened.
And
Of
guess
course
what?
they
If you
think
look
it
at the
happened.
geological area where the Red Sea supposedly split, did you know that it's like a marshland? It's not even a sea right there. It's a marshland. It's like a
Swampy
you can
like. Yeah,
yeah, it's more
swampy
like a
like.
swamp. It ain't even like a big ocean to where all this water can just spread like that. If you look at it, it's not even that much water in the area. If you get a biblical um you know how they try to get the geographical books that show you where this and that was at. If you do
Yes.
your research and you look at where he says the Red Sea was at that area, it's more of a marshland. It ain't even a. So how the hell did you split something? What you do? Split the swamp? You should have said that. God split the swamp and he ran through the swamp
Who ain't
on the
even
Oh,
dirt
but,
bike.
but remember,
Moses.
there's still some wisdom and knowledge in that, though. Remember,
No, it is.
you'll,
I'm
you'll
not.
get you'll get some rejects, and they'll say, "But there's still some wisdom and knowledge in all that." With all those 600 lies and contradictions, you'll still get a reject to try and
Guess what?
justify
Proverbs. I
that
forget what
swamp opening up.
Proverbs and a few other books was taken verbatim from some ancient text in Kemet, some ancient Kemetic text. I can get do the re- I can do a PowerPoint on it too. But I'm just saying, Proverbs. Some of the things in Proverbs, you find older texts that say the same exact thing. 2,000 years ago, they said this, right? And then 2,000 years later, here come this book that you guys call the Bible saying the same thing. Who do you think stole from who?
get right?
Just
That's
if the
that's what
writing was
Ashra
on,
Crazy. That's the science Ashra Crazy used to break down. Somebody know more about you than you know about yourself. Remember, he used to quote that a lot.
yeah,
When your enemy has became your deity.
that's what happened. That's what they did. And
That's
that's
why
why there's more pictures of white Jesus in Africa than it is in America.
I use social media to expose those contradictions and those lies. And who don't like it, you could go and kick rocks,
I
cement balls,
mean,
bricks. You could go kick a six-wheeler. I don't care. Because it's going to go down. It's going to go down, whether you like it or not. And from you not liking it, it just shows how closed-minded and unwise and unknowledgeable you are. That's all it shows. Could get
Hey,
mad about that? Because when I used to hear Baba Phil speak on it and Oscar Crazy, why would I get mad at the elders that been there, been on the land?
yeah, and
Several,
they think they can tell the elder that they don't know what he talking about.
of course they
They
will.
think they can tell Baba Phil that he don't know what he talking about.
Of course they will. And they will tell you why, because it's
And you know what they'll
inspiring
do? They'll go to a scripture.
their retarded selves.
It's like they go to a scripture. They'll be like, you don't know what you talking about. Watch. Let me go to Second Samuel's and da 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 da. Like they get they answers out of the same book. You know, this they got them like hypnotized. It's a spell. It's like a spell that book puts them under.
Of course it does.
And it also tells you don't read no other books. The Bible will tell you don't read no other books. This is the only book that you should be reading. All the other books are of the
But
worldly books. This one,
wouldn't that be boring to your own intellect to just read that every day, every
It,
week,
it would
every
be.
month,
It would be
every
very
year?
boring.
Yeah,
it's
like
an
wouldn't that be
insult.
tiring with Sarah? Wouldn't you want to advance in knowledge? When you get tired of reading that, wouldn't you want to read something before that?
Yeah, what
And before
like
that, and before that?
right? No, I
Definitely,
just want to read this. You know what
definitely.
they'll say? They'll say just because something is older don't mean it's the truth. That on
So then
everything
why
I
the
love.
Bible plagiarize everything? So then why the Bible is full of lies and contradiction then? Why did they find the need to steal it and put it there and tell you that only read this? Don't read nothing else, only read this. See,
And you know what they'll say?
a person
And
with
you know,
wisdom and knowledge, Kufu, a person with real wisdom and knowledge and really seeking to be wise and really seeking knowledge, they would know that's not the only way. They will know to expand their consciousness. That's why I have to keep exposing it on the social media. Sorry if it's
you do.
bothering you. Sorry if you don't like it. But that's how it's getting ready to go down.
You see the Bible?
You can always go on somebody else's post and complain. You know? You can always go on somebody else's post and cry with your silly ass emotions.
Or go to church.
Because you're
Go to
borderline
church and
retarded, if you ask me. You're working on borderline retarded.
yeah,
That's
go
what
catch
you're
the
working
Holy
on.
Ghost. Go in there and wiggle and jiggle. Go catch the
Who
Holy
wants to
Ghost.
read that same book every day, every week, every month, and every year? Who wants to read that? The
No,
same
because
thing over and over again. And half of them ain't even living it. Half of you ain't even living what the Bible tell you to do.
well, the Bible fits neatly
All
in
right, half of
capitalism.
y'all is so far away from God, it
If
ain't
it's
even
what
funny. But you the main one talking about God.
Yeah, I said the Bible it fits neatly in the capitalist system.
yes, I agree. Because it was designed that way. It was catered to fit, in the system that way. And
Yes,
they know that melanated people are more spiritual the most spiritual people on this planet, right? So they'll take that. They'll know that because they took our language, they took our culture, they took all of those things that you know resonated with us that we to tell us who we were, right? And they replaced it with that. And
yeah,
now
because
we got that.
our power came from the environment, our knowledge of the environment. And they came and they took the power in the environment, and that's all the minerals and the resources. And they
And
took it
gave
back,
us the book.
yeah, and they took it back to their countries and they developed it. And of course, in the wake of our resources, of course, we followed our resources. But they told us they just wanted the resources and they didn't want us. So they call us refugees, they kill us, and they do us so many awful things. And whereas what they took was part of us, and we understand our environment was part of us. So they took our environment and they harnessed aspects of our environment, which are aspects also of our spirituality, and they built their entire nations under the rule of minority rule and gods that hate strangers and are very jealous. And that whole ideology went into the building of the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Western world follows the same ideology of jealousy and greed and piracy And
Mhm.
all this comes from the God of the Bible.
Yep. Gluttony, like,
He follow he
The seven
that's
deadly sins.
he follow his own thought.
and it's crazy and that's true. 100% true. I agree with you, brother, because it's like everything that book tells you not to do is what this country is built off of doing.
Thank you. Remember
Don't
how we
steal.
got the Bible.
Like it
Remember
say,
how we
thou shalt
began
not
to do.
steal, right? But you guys go steal a whole people. You go to West Africa and just steal people,
No, we have
families,
to understand. We
women,
have to
children.
understand the book, you know. We have to understand the book. The book is, you see, that's why I said the book brought in capitalism because of the individualism and the bigotry. Whereas you're divine, but others are not. This all brought in minority rule, a divine family ruling over the helots. So the Bible is in tune with the current system of individualism, each man for himself and God for us all. And it plays into the whole system of politics and everything. This whole individualism that everyone has their own God, and there's no God of the family and the community, and it's a whole upside down of our African philosophy. So when we watch the Bible, it comes from a certain people that it was right for them to go and take what was not theirs, but they were divinely given it by this unseen creature they call Jehovah. Because that's what they told the Israelites, and that's what they
These
told
are
the
the
Spaniards
unseen
and the
creatures.
Portuguese. They
He
told the
called it a
Spaniards and
creature.
the Portuguese that, you know.
It is a creature.
Yeah, it's a creature that's still fettered by the frailties of humanity, jealousy, wrath, guile, patriarchy, you know. So it's
Yeah.
still governed by the fetters of our own weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, and I agree.
Yeah.
And they use it, and look, they got us waiting on something to come out of the sky and save us, and they're using, they're using it. The what we use it for is not what they use it for, right? They know that ain't nothing coming out the sky to save you or none of that, right? They know that. They don't care. So
Because
while we
somebody
looking
knows
up,
more about you than you know about yourself.
yeah, we looking up, waiting on
Your
some
enemy
horses
has
and
become your
chariots, and
destiny, your
like they got us
deity.
in. Oh man, it is just, it's like it's crazy how they got us. Like,
When your enemy has become your deity, somebody know more about you than you know about yourself.
Of course, because
We keep
they
forgetting.
learned the science. It's the science of the universe. There's no good and no bad in the science. You learn how to use it, and
no,
that
it's just energy. Like I explained earlier, I think the other show I said fire is an element that can be used to destroy. You can destroy people using fire. You can use it. It's what you choose to use it for, or you can use it to feed you, to warm your food up, or
To
to keep
purify
you and your
and
family
destroy.
warm. It's not bad or
Hmm.
good. It just is. It's just an element. It's all about your intentions on what you want to use with it. And you can use any one of the elements. You can do that with water. Water is life, right? But you can also use it to drown, to murder somebody. You can do
or
something,
or dehydrate,
or yeah, you can, so it's like
Hmm.
that's what it is. There really is no, the way they use it, it's just all in the intentions of the person behind whatever's being used. So some people use it like I said, if someone gets out of the pen and they read the Bible and it something in there that helps them become a better person, I'm not against that aspect of it.
That's different.
You
That's
know
a
what I mean?
big
But
difference.
but
That's
you
a big
can't get
difference.
caught. You can't get stuck in that. You have to use it for what it's. You have to eat the meat and spit out the bones, basically, so to speak. Paraphrasing, but yeah, you gotta. You can't just take it and just like, because people worship the book they think they're worshiping a god, right? But they're actually worshiping the book.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is whatever this book tells you is what you base your whole life around. That is so like I don't get it. I don't get how people can
Mm-hmm.
like limit their self to that. You know,
And just only read that. And just only read that, Wasar. That's it. That's the only book you want to read for 50 years. That's all you've been reading. And I
and
don't
look
just
at everybody and they look at everybody else like I've got all the answers with this book. You're wrong. You going to hell, and I'm finna go to heaven with because I'm reading this book. That's what they got. That's most people, most black people in America. That's what they think. They think that
and that doesn't just go for Christians. That go for Rastafari. That go
Yeah.
for Jehovah Witness.
any
Seven
Abrahamic faith that goes
Yes,
for Islam, Judaism, anybody reading those books.
all across the board.
So it's like,
Well, you see, that God we can see was a God on the offensive, because that God didn't want you to worship no other God.
a jealous God. Yeah,
So
jealous.
he was a colonizer of gods, and so his followers obviously become colonizers and practice what we call religious intolerance.
Yeah, because they're
Now,
made in His image, right? So
yeah, because religious intolerance, I think the closest we have to that in ancient times is Amenhotep the Fourth, Akhenaten. But
hmm
then you have Moses coming with his own religious intolerance when he killed his own people that were worshiping the calf.
Yeah.
And so you see the religious intolerance carries on till every Christian today saying you're damned if you don't worship Jesus the Christ. And so they're the only religion that's
Right.
a
You're
missionary,
going to hell.
because it's a missionary religion. You have to preach it and trick people into it. It don't just spread like that, because for it to spread, they had to outlaw the original thing. That's why they closed the, they had the edicts of Theodosius and then Justinian, and they wipe out the Medu Nature, they wipe out the
right.
ancient religions in the world, and they came with that new political. Now, in Rome, they never had a god over many people, many different people. Each city had their own god, and that god was
Yes.
a jealous god. The people couldn't even intermarry between cities in Europe. So Europe was very individualistic. That's why when they came to Kemet and Africa, and they seen so many people under national deities, they were surprised. They never see that kind of thing before, you know. So
Right.
they take that and they go back with that and they use that. Because the whole system we see now is a system that was in Kemet.
Washington is built
Taxi,
uh
selling
exactly like, yeah, they went and stole all
Okay.
of that.
Tell me about it. All right.
They stole all George Washington and all them the fake Masons that think they really doing something, think that they really know something, but they don't. They're using watered down African Kemetic science. They're using watered down versions of what our ancestors knew. They took, they learned some stuff and created their own, Washington D.C. and how it's mapped out, and all of that comes from. It's basically a remake of ancient Kemet. It's a remake.
now you
You know
see,
what I mean?
But it's fake.
Even in the
But
Prince
it
Hall,
said it's fake though.
yeah, but even in the Prince Hall, that's part of the African Lodge in America. In
Oh,
the
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
he still used the European model because it was still coming from the headquarters, which is in England, in Britain, and I think that is the Duke, and he's the head of that Freemasonry that was also inspired by Albert Churchward. And when they got these tablets from Kemet, and they build up their whole system of Freemasonry on that.
hmm
But the original Masons were the people that build out of stone.
yeah, that's why, hence the name Mason.
Yeah, and hence the tools we use, the plumb bob to take celestial markings and bring it down to the physical world on the ground and build
Right, the compass and everything.
temples and in line with the stars, and even the square, the level, uh, the hammer, all this, the chisel, all these things are incorporated in Freemasonry, coming from that molding, because the sculpture takes away to create,
Mm-hmm.
whereas you put these people put things together to create. When you're a sculpture, you actually take away things to create, and so it is with the human soul. We take away fetters in life as we become more experienced, and we sculpt ourselves into something magnificent. So,
Even even the shepherd's crook and the shepherd's flare.
yeah, all these things were there. That was to lead the people, to feed the people, protect the people. And our leadership roles that come from the Nile Valley. This is where our original kingship, and the first Christ was Imhotep. Imhotep was the world's first Christ, and
Oh
even
boy, they gonna
Hey,
be
European.
he was
blowing your,
also
they
he
gonna be
was
blowing
also
your,
the
they gonna
he
blow his
was
inbox up, Kufu. You said the first Christ was Imhotep. No, it's
Imhotep
not.
was
The
first Christ.
Bible didn't say that. The Bible said Jesus is the first Christ.
Okay.
man.
We
Them
You
have
getting
the
ready?
people
story
is
of
You're gonna
Jesus.
get it for that now, Wasar. You're gonna pay for saying that.
Okay.
You
We have
gonna
the story
pay.
of
You're
Jesus.
not wise. You don't have knowledge. You're gonna pay
Okay.
for that.
We have the
they
story of
gonna
Jesus.
they gonna find your email. They're gonna
They,
be emailing you.
yeah. No,
Trust me.
they don't play with me. Trust me, they don't play with me. Yeshua at the Sanhedrin, he was hung on a tree for sorcery, along with his 5 disciples. And it's written of now the Sanhedrin is the council of Jewish elders. Now I always say the Israelites and the Jews were not black people. The original Jews were not black.
I agree.
You know? The Israelites, who they call Israelites, were not African people. We took
No,
on
they
that
wasn't.
story, we took on that story to free ourselves from oppression. Even ones like Chilembwe of South Africa used that. He chop off the massa head and he put it on the pulpit. And he used the book Christianity to
Yeah, and and not to cut you off, brother, but
He got
that
your
is
wheels
no.
spinning now.
Yeah, I just want to add on to what he was saying. Like, if you think about it, that's the truth. Like, um, for example, Elijah Muhammad, the founder of the Nation of Islam, he didn't have Google. Back in those days, there was no Google. You didn't have a computer right at your fingertips where you can pull up certain information. So the only books that those brothers had back then was the Bible or the Quran. And they used those Qurans to live. They used that religious belief system and that paradigm to um, liberate their people, right? It's only because didn't have they wasn't they weren't able to pull up information and do as much research as like people who live in our today in our age. You know what I mean? So it's like those were the only books they had to liberate.
yeah,
You see,
it's true. It's true.
you see.
It's
So
true.
I understand that and that's how these people of today that are of African descent and indigenous descent, they still use these books, not knowing that times has changed. Like, it's time to grow past those books because it's
Yeah.
good for what they did back then, but now that you don't have to do you don't have to stay stuck with that paradigm because you can see that it's not true. Those stories are not true. Those you know what I'm trying to say, like, so
Yeah. Well, it's called the cacophony of the Western mind, the loud noise, the different appetites, things we have developed in the West that cloud our judgment, and we don't even take time to think, which is one of our senses. We don't take time to think and analyze because we
no,
have
we don't.
short attention spans and we have a short memory. I'm a child of the 79, so you're maybe 1 year older than I.
Yeah.
But growing up on that little island in St. Lucia, we didn't have much. We were a little third world island, and I remember I knew license plate numbers. I knew telephone numbers. I remember people's birthdays. I I held so much inside, and right now we've become empty. We've
You know
become
something that's very profound, brother, because when I was growing up, I remembered numbers. I remembered telephone numbers by heart.
of
They
course.
call these smartphones, right?
Yeah.
Because it's smarter than we are.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
They're smarter than we are now. You know why? Because all of the numbers that we have in here, I don't know none of them by heart.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
true.
know. I don't even know directions anymore because Google Map thinks for me.
Yeah.
The
So
phone
so
remembers phone numbers for me. See?
so they're dumbing you down. So you're using a part of your brain less. So it's like a muscle. It's not exercising, so it shifts, puts energy in something you're
If you
using.
don't use it, you lose it.
You
You know what
lose
I'm
it.
saying?
So we're losing the memory. Now, memory is important because even the computer cannot work without what we call RAM, which is the memory. It
Right.
can, and in our science, the RAM is the head. So we
And it's
we
not a coincidence that they called that certain part of the computer a RAM.
yeah, the RAM, we hold the memory. Now, without memory, because your memory, if it's forgotten, it's dead.
It's just gone. You don't
But
have
if
it.
it's alive, it's in the past. If it's alive, it's still in the present. If you remember, it is still in the present. It's not in the past. In the past, things are dead. In the present, your memory, things are alive in the present. So that's a different way we watch even time as African people. We have what we call deja vu because time is one stream. Time is not three different streams, past, present, future. It's one. And we're
I
in this
always say that time, the only time that exists is the moment that we live in. You
moments.
know,
Yeah, these moments.
it's the
We
moment like right now. This is what exists because we're living it. I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. This is what exists. You can't go back into 2 seconds ago what just happened. That you can't ever go back and fetch that. You see what I'm saying? And then we don't even know in the next 5 minutes, we don't know what's coming in the next hour. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's even going to be a next hour. You don't even know if it's going to be another 20 minutes. So the only thing that exists is the infinite now.
Mhm.
Now is always infinite because that's what's always in existence is the now.
Yeah, because we just use different measurements, like we use the pulse, you know, we use measurements, and all these things are kind of abstract. We developed ways to measure different things in the universe,
Distance,
you know.
um, yeah, distance, measure, meters, and all of that stuff. Yeah, you're right.
All of this is mathematics. Even music itself, music with the chords, like we were watching the violin, eh, touching the chord at different measurements, playing different sounds on each chord is different, is
It was just
mathematics.
math. It was just
Yeah,
math.
it's
You
math.
know,
Now this is what Pythagoras learned when he went to Kemet and learned at the feet of the grandmasters. But Pythagoras was had to run for his life. I think he was sold into slavery when he went back to his own place. Yeah.
it's
So
crazy.
so that means these people were not practicing the science until much later on, and they claimed it. You know, because in Alexandria, when they let the Jews in and they free up the Jews by buying all of them out of slavery, the original Africans, they pushed further, I would south, up south, into Lower Nubia.
Yeah, Sudan.
Right.
Right.
For
And they kept those sacred sciences. See, they
they,
kept a lot of stuff.
yeah, in Alexandria, there was a time where no native Kemetian or Egyptian was allowed inside there, and
Hmm.
they were not treated well. So we can see, and the Jews were called Macedonians as a title in Egypt. That's to show you how much they were loved and favored by the Greeks, by the
And they even became pharaohs. Like later on, right before, they were even like pharaohs and noblemen and like people of high standard. You know what I mean? Like they took over. They took over. Yeah.
well, they are the first of the what we call potable wealth, transferring transferring gold, and they were called the grandees. You know, and right now they are still the owners of the banking system.
Oh yeah, because they stole all that wealth, and it's stolen wealth. It's not even something that they really own, or that you know what I mean. They're just benefiting from what their ancestors did.
Yeah. Well, right now it's slavery in a different form because they invented different organizations that would continue the spoliation which they learned from the god of spoliation, taking all
Right.
the minerals out and everything out of Africa and bringing it
Hmm.
to Europe, calling it trade, but it's really exploitation. It's really blackmail, but they call
Yeah.
it trade, so the world still runs in the same way it took off in the Renaissance period.
They just got smarter at it. They got
Yeah,
smarter at it,
yeah. They,
and
they, you see, the European has gone through a lot of length to reinvent themselves to the world, especially
then
through
they
the
keep
media,
doing. Yeah, they keep
especially
doing it.
through Hollywood. Okay. Leave it to Beaver, and all these different programs,
The Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch. But we know the history of these people because at the
Yeah,
same time they created the first world, simultaneously they were creating the third world. The people that would pay the price for their great success.
because in order for somebody to win, somebody has to lose.
Somebody has to lose. Now it's the same doctrine of the God of the Bible.
Hmm. Exactly. Where do you think it's all connected? See, all of that's connected.
Because when the European came in where the place where I am now, in the Caribbean, he came with the Bible, the cross, the gun, because his boss, who was the one representing Christ in the physical world, who they call the Pope, in his absence because he flew away, and one day they say he would come back to retake that throne in Rome. So the Pope, who is coming from the lineage of Peter, had gave that power and separated the world in two and told them to go on, the first two Christian nations, Portugal and Spain, to bring people into slavery if they do not, bring them into servitude if they do not follow the words and follow Jesus the Christ.
Right.
And so it was the same doctrine that God gave the Israelites, and He told them to go over there, the land is yours, go and take it, I give it to you.
And you know what always tripped me out about that, and it doesn't seem like people question that. What type of God makes tells one people to go say to then make them feel like it's okay to go to someone else's land who was there before you for thousands of years, prospering, living in peace, not bothering you? What type of God makes you think it's okay to go over there, pillage, rape, rob another people, and it's okay? What type of God? What type of just God? Um, what type of just God? Um, what type of just God? 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 What type of just makes that okay.
Well, remember, religion is the deification of a culture. So the people that created that God gave God the attributes of their culture that wasn't a pleasing one. It was one of scarcity. It was one where you had to rob and kill to survive.
Scavengers.
It wasn't one of civilization, because to have a civilization, you must be growing your food. You cannot be a hunter. Hence, why that God preferred the sacrifice of the hunter over the one coming with the fresh fruits and ital.
That is like, and so I see what you're saying. So basically, like they had to design the characteristics and the attribute of the god
To be a
in order
nomadic
to,
hunter,
yeah, yeah,
that God,
in order to justify what they're doing to make themselves. Because see, the Pope, he said the Inquisitions, he was like he signed the Inquisition, right? I forget the name of it, but one of the popes, well, many of the popes, not just one of them, but they all pretty much did the same thing when they sent people to these indigenous lands where there were people that already existed and already had their own culture and own belief system, and sent them over there. The Inquisition, the Spaniards and all of them, they sent them over there to just basically kill the men, kill the warrior class of that culture, and take the women and children and indoctrinate them and teach them Spanish and teach them Catholicism and Jesus, and and they and a lot of people lost touch of who they were.
well,
A lot of different cultures, when you go to South America, like the Belizean people, you know what they did to the indigenous people of the Americas, what they did to people in Africa. Is I mean, it's a global thing.
well, you see, the
Exactly.
Inquisition started at a time when European was cut away from knowledge. They were cut away from knowledge. Their knowledge came from the Bible, and the Bible alone, which they got from the Roman times when knowledge was flourishing in Rome, but Rome fell. And then you have the rise of the Arabs, and the Arabs coming in the 700s, ruling for 700 years with Gibraltar. And when they ruled in that time, then they were trying to mount an attack on the Muslims, and then they passed the Inquisition, and they would even kill a woman for eating an apple. And
I ain't
they,
never heard of that before, but I ain't surprised.
and
I'm not surprised at all.
they developed a lot of systems of cruelty and death so you can worship Jesus Christ, you know. So that was what going on. That was the mentality. And when they got the power with the unity of Isabella and Ferdinand and that nationalistic vibe, chase out the Moors from Granada, from being a people that
You
were
know what? We
colonized.
need to, not to cut you off, brother, but we need to do a show on this. I got some things I want to pull up, have some PowerPoints that I want to pull up. We need to do a show on this. I would like to um continue this conversation. Um,
We can continue with Thursday.
yeah, let's arrange something because I want to pull up. I want to get some things that I want to pull up talking about the Inquisition and how they sent armies of you know people to basically like destroy, because they thought if you didn't believe in the Abrahamic faith, you were like a heathen. Basically, you was considered a heathen. So
Mm-hmm.
they went to these different lands and they saw that these people didn't believe in Jesus and all that, right? So they was like, okay, it's okay for us to kill y'all because you guys, according to the Bible, right, and according to our belief system, you guys are heathen. So we're going to force y'all to believe in our God because y'all ain't gonna be saved unless you believe in this God. Not, So I want to do some. I want to talk about that a little deeper. You know what I mean?
Now, now, it's not that because these people were religious.
No, it's not.
It was really because these people are very tribal. They talk about tribal in Africa. But my little island, it was fought 14 times over between the British and the French. Now, the British and the French constantly at war. If you read about Joan of Arc, the kind of war, now it goes back to even William, the Normans, and the English. Now, this is a long time ago, the beginning of England, where the French feel they had a, a piece of England for themselves because of William.
That's information that I want to learn more about, brother, because
That's
I
European
don't.
history about
I don't.
the Danes.
Yeah, I want to learn. I'm interested in learning more about that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't. That's history that we were never taught.
No,
We were never taught over here on the west. On the west, where me growing up in California, and all of my life and stuff, that the educational system didn't teach us anything about what you're talking about. So it's new to me.
let me
And the
tell you,
islands and how the French and the British fought on about over the islands and stuff. That's interesting information that I need to know.
when you see
You know what I mean?
The Caribbean is a mystic place. It's a mystic place because we're still in a tropical environment. When we were carried here, unlike America, whereas your family would maybe send states away, you would never see them again, most probably. But
Oh
Right.
yeah,
on the
that's
island, you can just walk. You can on my island, you can drive around this island in 2 hours.
Mhm. Wow.
wow.
So if you're wherever they put your family member, you would find them. So we were still able to be connected. Sometimes we still had the drum. So
Wow.
they would
That's hey,
be,
that's a beautiful thing though, brother. That's I would have rather been dropped off on an island than been brought here because the way they did us, they
well,
just separated.
they did all of us the same, you know. All of us were they had one thing they held over our head.
No, I get it. I get it. But my point is, I like how you would still be able to find your family members, but
Yeah.
like you said, here it was a little different. I mean, they all did us the same, but here
Yeah,
was just
it
like
was
I'm
a
gonna
lot
separate.
harder trying to track down your husband or track down your
It's
sister.
damn near impossible because you
Yeah,
She
don't
yeah.
know
did.
where
You
they
see what
sent them.
Harriet Tubman did? She had to go from here to Canada, back down. You know what I'm saying? She took several trips, several routes, bringing family members back and forth through the state. So yeah, because America's big.
Yeah.
50 states. Come on.
Because my island, they had the Kalinago, the Carib. The Europeans came. The first time they came, the Caribs attacked. Well, they settled nice and thing, but the Caribs ended up attacking them. They left, and then they came back, killed off the Caribs, the Arawak, the Taino people, and they started to populate here with African people. You know, but that happened after Bartholomew Las Casas when he wrote to the Pope, telling the Pope they had millions and now they're down to a couple hundred thousands because the way they were dying off. They were not as strong as the Africans, susceptible to their diseases and all these different things.
Right, right.
You know, so they died off.
That's what happened in
And
Haiti.
a lot of
Mhm.
their women couldn't even give birth again because they were so malnourished. They were searching for gold. At that time, it wasn't an agricultural pursuit. They were looking for gold. And they used to tie up the chiefs, the cacique, and ask him, where's the gold? And when they light the fire
Right.
under him, when they light the bonfire under him, then he would start to talk. And he would say, the gold is such and such a place. And they would go and get the gold and come back. And they would add more wood to the fire and ask him, where's the rest? So Bartholomew Las Casas, after watching the marrow run from the bones of these Indian people, he wrote and he told them, you have to You have to turn to the African because you're killing out them people there, you know. But there was the monarch tried a little bit to stop the harshness of that slavery that was going on. But with persons like Cristobal Colon, who they call Christopher Columbus, his brother, because remember Christopher Columbus was sent back in chains, you know.
Right.
So and then they sent what's his name, Olivando, who killed the great what's that queen's name, Anacaona. You know, he brought all the Cassif chiefs together in a house, told them he would have a meeting. You know, the famous old European trick. Tell them he would have a meeting, and then they light the building on fire, kill all of them, and Anacaona was the only one that escaped, and he hung her. So this is all what went on in the Caribbean. So the Caribbean is a place of a lot of deaflingers here. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, in the Western world, there's a lot of deaflingering.
Yes,
You
for
know,
It
real.
is.
I mean that
A lot of
foundation.
bloodshed.
Every square inch of this place has our blood on it.
Yeah,
You
because
know what
the
I mean?
because the tribalism that goes all back to that time is still happening today. Between the French, between Russia, between America, it has always been a tribal thing between them. Even the piracy that used to go on in the Caribbean is because they couldn't enter the Spanish trade. And England,
Mm-hmm.
when you hear about John Hawkins, they were all pirates. On our money, in Saint Lucia, we have the Golden Hind, and that's Francis Drake's, and all of these people were pirates. Blackbeard. So this the
And
very
then Disney creates a movie to glorify them like they were heroes, Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah, Pirates of
Oh
the
yeah.
Caribbean.
They have
So
like 3 and 4 parts of that too.
yeah, so in the Caribbean come from that still because a set ici, nous ka parler deux langues ici, nous ka parler créole et nous ka parler anglais. Anglais, il sorti les Angleterre te colonize nous et français il sort France qui te colonize. Now I was speaking Creole. Now that's a broken, or I should say, a French patois. So we speak two. We have these two languages.
More like a Creole.
Yeah, it's more like a Creole. No? So in the Caribbean, we still have that kind of link with the ancient past, and that link with Obia and the different cultures, and we get that European vibe. So Marcus Garvey, um, Hubert Harrison, a lot of these greats came from the Caribbean. Stokely Carmichael, Eric Williams, a lot of greats came from the Caribbean. Because of that, we were not always around the European.
Well, see, hey, right there, right there. Let's do a.
I hardly see a European here. If I stay at my home in my neighborhood, I
Hey,
mean,
I want to do some. I want to learn some more about that, brother. It's but I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm about to wrap it up. Cause I got to get to work in the morning. But
oh yeah,
definitely, um, I want to expound on that a little more. You know, when we'll have that's a whole new show for itself. Like I've always been interested in the Caribbean history. I feel like a lot of us, black people in America, need to know about that because you know what I mean. It's like what another thing that I learned. Some of our family members got shipped to there. Some of us are from the Caribbean. We just don't even know it. Some of our, some of our ancestors are from there, and then because everything was so mixed up, you
Well, the
know,
biggest stop was in Barbados.
right
Barbados, where they used to sell slaves. Most of us,
to
they
the
would
Americas,
stop
to
in
out to
Barbados.
this way, yeah.
Yeah, and you would stop in Barbados. They would come to buy your slave in Barbados and then go back to America.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I meant. Like some of us is from there and don't even know it. You
Yeah,
know.
my great grandfather is from Barbados. My mother's father.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So it's like we
Now
need to.
I'll tell you something, my brethren. I've always thought to myself that in the Caribbean, I mean, we don't have white rulers. You know, maybe once in a blue we have one when the people are so gullible in them politics. But our majority, our masses are African people. You know,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
if the brothers in the USA can extend their influence around people that are absent in around Europeans, that we can get books, they can come down and inspire these youth because these youth are surrounded by African people. But what they don't have is African history, African philosophy, and worldview.
So
Yeah, but that's gonna be kind of tough because they think they're gonna get all of that from the Bible. It's our
Well,
history,
that's what's available to
culture,
them. You
tradition.
know, most
hey,
of
you
them.
know
That's
what,
where they're
brother?
looking
Why can't we create? Um, let's manifest what you're talking about. Like since there's nobody else doing it, why can't we work together and try to figure out how to do it for ourselves? Me, you, her. Let's come together. Let's
at. Of
because I
course.
like that idea. You know, I like
Well,
that idea.
Me too. Me too.
well, I've written two journals. I've written two journals so far, and well, I was inspired by my elder, which I met quite some time ago, like over 2 decades ago, and we've been collecting books and studying, and I've been taking on students, and we're trying to develop because St. Lucia it's a very dogmatic place when it comes to religion, and y'all could imagine the closeness of our society, you know, and
Right.
how it would spread, and how people characters are destroyed, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
So it's
Hmm.
a very cautious. You have to be very cautious in these little islands, you know. So we're trying to have uh, an organization, a hub for all persons that are seeking for something despite the bacchanal and all the noise around them.
Right.
Because the Caribbean is full of bacchanal and soca and carnival and party and session and drink rum and a lot of murder, a lot of death, especially by the
Yeah.
youths, you know.
Sound like America.
That
Well,
sounds
America
that.
is different because we have a small society.
No, I
Like
mean
I,
like with the killing and the death and the party and the alcohol. It's the same schism,
yes,
just different
yes, but
locations, but the
yeah, but
same,
the thing is,
negative.
in your country, it's developed in a different way where you have different organizations that would catch you if you fall on the sidelines. In our islands, there's none of that. If you
Yeah,
don't
that's true.
work, you don't get paid. There's nothing like an allowance from government. You crazy?
Hmm.
And things are expensive, dollar to dollar. Things are very. You want to go and buy a burger for 99 cents or 1.99? So things are different, and things can be very hard, you know. And more the youths are gravitating to what they see on the net, on in the media. You know, they see the cars, they see the fast life, they see the sneakers. But where you live is full of dirt. Why not buy a sandals? But no, you're in the concrete, so you want a sneaker. You know, so it's a whole psychological affair. Now you remove yourself from the dirt because you're watching America. But agriculture is the only thing that will save you. So it's kind of a real crash and burn things that's going on right now. You know? And the youths are going really fast into it. So that's why
Well,
it's a
Yeah, we
communal
can
effort.
pick. If if you're available on Thursday, maybe we could continue this on Thursday. But I guess in the more PowerPoint session you was talking about, Kufu. I don't know what your schedule look like with Sar on Thursday. That's 2 days from now.
Thursday, yeah, Thursday I'll be free. I think I'll be free Thursday. Should
Okay.
yeah, because I wanted to finish talking about that and like how can we reach out your set of your you guys' situation. We both have similar things we need to work on, right? When it comes to the youth and things of that nature, they're similar. They're a lot similar, but it's different too. So I just want to figure out a way to bridge that, to come together on and make it like
Right.
create a bridge because when it all boils down to it, we're really the same people. We're the same. We're
oh,
just been, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're the
he
same.
was just dropped off in the Caribbean. I was dropped off
Yes.
in North America.
Yeah.
Someone
So
else was dropped off in
and
South
then
America.
and then
Another
your
one went
accent.
to England.
We speak broken English. Them over there speak broken French, but it's still, you know what I mean? It's like, so I want to figure out how to, continue this dialogue so we can like form some type of unified front. You know what I mean? Because I think it's time for that because it ain't finna do nothing but get worse. This country, your country, all of this, the whole West is just all
Right.
of this is about. It's getting worse.
now that's what the internet is for, you know. This is what the internet is for. But imagine you have something so unifying, but people are the furthest away from each other than they've ever been in their life.
And that's because of belief.
Yeah, that's because of belief.
Yeah, it's a belief because like you said, the internet can be used for what we're talking about, but the belief systems are so different. Now, it ain't like someone has to believe exactly what I believe, but at least agree with me. Can we at least sit down at the table and just talk about things that we have in common and that we agree on? And I think that would be the right approach. I don't
Yeah,
want to hear about what you don't agree on. I want to talk about what we can agree on and work for and build off of the things that we have in common instead of focus on the things that we don't have in common. You know what I mean? And I feel like that would be the best way to approach it, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah, yeah. Belief is like water. Belief is not intelligence. Belief is emotions. You know.
And fear
Yeah, yeah,
because yeah, because most of the belief systems are it
fear.
yeah, it feeds your fear. It makes you have to be afraid of something. This God is going to send you to hell. When you die, you're going to burn forever because you don't believe in this. That's fear. So
Hmm.
yeah.
with
Well,
that being said,
yes,
I could do this all night,
yeah,
but I unfortunately I have to get up and work. Unfortunately, I'm getting tired of it though. I'm getting to the point where I'm sick of working for these people because I got things I could be doing to where I don't have to be. I'm not going to keep doing this for too long. You know what I mean? But I do have to get up and get to work and leave. I'll get your information, brother,
yeah.
and
Check the gist. Let me set you up.
yeah, we'll come together, man. And I want to finish this conversation. Hopefully on Thursday, or I have to sit down. I have to find some time to sit down and come up with my PowerPoints. So we'll figure it out. I'm gonna figure out which ones I want to pull up. But you know, it's as always much
Always a
appreciated to
pleasure.
the much appreciation to the queen goddess. She
Yeah.
always pulls this together. She always brings the greats on her show. Um, I'm always in shock. She always has me in shock, and you know, she just attracts so many great people, so many great things. You know what I mean? She's the catalyst of that. She's. I just
Yeah,
got to constantly remind
we
her
have
of
to
her greatness.
expand like a mathematic problem, like an algebra problem. Keep expanding, you know.
Yep.
Keep expanding.
So
That's what we need to do. And
peace and love. I will be talking to you guys soon. Um, looking forward to the next bill, and let's just keep it going.
Yeah, Irie brethren, yeah. Bless up, King. Uncle
All right,
Justin. Yes, I
Uncle
am.
Joshua,
Yes,
bless
Dua.
up.
Yeah, bless. Dua Empress. Rastafari. We shall see again. You know, we'll talk. Yes, Uncle Justin Dua Wu nature.